Welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Today, if you haven't seen the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the debate between Andrew Tate and XQC. Not really sure who that is, but I watched it and it was very interesting. I've heard of Andrew Tate before, and he used to be a kickboxer, and he's got, he got some play in the red pill community, the manosphere, and I think he's got a lot of out there views, and I think that he says things in a way that a lot of people can't really understand. That being said, I think there's, his business dealings have always been a little bit shady, but we're not really going to talk too much about that today. What I'm really interested in is the content of this debate. Before we move on, I want to give a shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for coming back and checking this out after the fact. Of course, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good ass time, but make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified when I go live so you can be here for the live party. The last thing I want to do before we jump on in is we have a sponsor. The sponsor is my sick t-shirt threads. So if we check this out here, we have got our very own Indian Jesus t-shirt available right here for you. You can look as cool almost as me. And all you got to do is go to the website that is in the scrolling banner. It is mysickshirt.threadless.com. With that out of the way, let's get into it. As always, you know how, actually, let me double check. You know how StreamYard could be. Sometimes they mess up the sound. All right. Andrew Tate, XQC, being a man. Let's see what we've got.
Wait. He tweeted, if there's anyone in the AFP crib right now, come downstairs. I can't move, help.
Telling me, yo, go up. What do you want me to do?
What does that mean?
Like, I've been brewing coffee. I'm gonna have to go back up top in a minute, and then we'll chill.
Wait, should this...
What kind of coffee you drink?
Tim Hortons fucking brew. I get the powder and I put that shit in a fucking coffee maker.
I don't care about any of this. Let's get to the actual conversation.
I hear him good. You can hear him?
So talk again.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, now it's good. Good, now great.
All right.
Give me the coffee. Give me a minute.
Andrew, this is what we do, bro. That's what we do now.
Oh,
That's what we do now, bro. Come on now.
You got to back up, bro. You got to back up, bro. Back up a little, bro. Back up.
How are you, my friend? You good?
I'm good. So who are all these people? We got a bunch of people here.
All right, so I'm going to start off. We're basically, they're all streamers. Los Polos, streamer. Silky, streamer. Kai, I don't know where he's at right now. Trainwreck is in here. He doesn't have his camera on. And my boy Rage doesn't have his camera on. And XQC, he's the one who said he's going to get his coffee. He doesn't agree with a lot of your takes. XQC is currently #1 ranked on Twitch. So he's the biggest streamer.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was the #1 Twitch streamer, which makes this a lot more interesting. If we need to, let me know if you're not familiar with Andrew Tate. I feel like he's been blowing up on everybody's timeline, no matter who you are or what you're into. So if you're, hey, we got Lil Toes in the building. Andrew Tate, Top G, you got it. Oh, you guys already know. What's good, Bull Rush? Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you are doing well today. And if you have seen this already, I hope I can give a unique perspective, which pretty sure I can. So since you guys are familiar, if we do need to stop and go over a little bit of who Andrew Tate is, we can definitely do that as more people show up. But since you guys know, let's get into the meat of it.
So he doesn't agree with a lot of your.
He's
just doesn't agree with.
So let's see.
Yes, he does, and I'm happy with it. I mean, look at him, bro. How could you not be like, damn? You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yo, he's going crazy.
Hey, what happens? I'm gonna.
He's gotta watch his
Wait,
hand.
I think SQC's nervous.
He is.
Yo, look at Chris.
You gotta get coffee. You gotta go pee.
Right. He's really gotta lock in. What the fuck?
Nah, he's wiping his hands. Oh, no, he getting ready. He's getting ready.
I've never had to wipe my hands before
Look at Chris.
a debate.
Yo.
Okay, what's up?
Yo, he's on the. Oh shit.
You got the whole squad here now?
Yo.
Yeah.
We good.
Okay.
Alrighty. XQ, Mr. Tate.
So,
Alright. Who else? Is Greek here?
Just get into it.
Shall we move him?
no, yeah, move on. I wanted to come back. He fucking.
Come on now.
Play the game, bro. Let him do his.
The fuck?
What?
Somehow works. Yeah, I kind of like it better now.
Yo, hey, I got when I say I don't know somebody, it's because I don't know him. You understand? This shit, this thing.
Yeah, I don't care about their little. I'm here for the actual debate and the content of debate. Again, it's interesting, but where the hell is this guy? Why do they include all of this?
Oh no.
What is Tate the top joke?
Okay, so that's where we're starting. Yeah, I'd never heard of him. Are you guys familiar with this dude? I'd never heard of him before this. I saw a clip of hey, we got Bun Boone in the building. What's good, brother? How are you today? Yeah, I never heard of this guy. I saw a clip of this guy saying Tate saying if who's gonna go downstairs if somebody's in the house, and he's like, oh, nobody. Like, what if it's your kids? Like, nah, nobody. I'm skipping through all the bullshit. We're not gonna watch that. Yeah, weird guy. And the first thing is he comes in so hot. Like, this is that makes so much more sense why he came in so hot. Like, even though you're across, you're not in the same room, there's still a level of respect that you should have for other men in general. And he just comes in hot. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we're going to skip all the bullshit. I just want to get into the meat of the conversation because, again, we are not here for gossip and drama. We are here for learning shit and having fun while we do it.
What?
So the question was top G of what?
The question.
That's where it starts.
These people think you're the top G of what? Can you give me a rundown first, an introduction?
I'm back at the right time. Hopefully I don't have any internet issues. It seems for some reason my internet's a bit slow, so let me know if it cuts in and out.
And broke internet.
Yeah, top G of broke internet.
Mod, super prediction who's gonna win? XQC.
Well, I don't really feel, my friend, like I'm compelled to justify myself to you. If I
Let's start with introductions first. Where are you from? What country?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh shit.
This whole
shit.
panel feels strange.
Oh shit, what?
I don't know.
I'm trying to pinpoint the accent.
The energy is tense.
Yeah, it's
South
kind of like
African?
I've walked into a police interview. It's weird.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said to Aiden, I said, be careful when you bring him in. You might feel like he's getting ambushed.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because obviously Twitch is an online community, right? But I live in the real world. I'm not from this internet world. I mean, the real.
So that's gonna be the first time that I live. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm a hot mess right now. Like, I live in the real world, so this internet stuff, I don't know what's good, what you guys do, and all that. You'll hear that a lot, and the fact is that I get what he means, but he's trying to make like I just said, we've all seen him all over our timelines. So he is trying to leverage attention on the internet. So this internet stuff, he condescends it, but dude, it's what you're doing. Baboon says, be the most famous streamer in the world at the moment. He has a stutter and he's French Canadian, so his English isn't good. I mean, go back and look at my stream. So that's Jamie Dean. Welcome. This Bon Boon was telling us the #1 Twitch streamer. And yeah, I had never been aware of this dude. The fact that he's got clout online makes a lot more sense why he feels like he can just come in with this energy. But if you, regardless of whether or not you feel justified, don't ever come in this hot. And we haven't even started yet. I'm just giving the preface. But don't ever, especially with me, y'all seen it. I'm nice as long as I can be nice. But if you come at me, I'm matching your energy. And for whatever you want to say about Andrew Tate outside of this debate, whatever. He handles himself like a pro in this debate. And that is what I want to do. As we get a little bit further and we see his actual views, the things that he says in this debate, I want to judge those things. But, anything that is ancillary, anything that from outside, I kind of want to not ignore it. Definitely it's relevant, but I want to stick to this specific conversation because exactly as Bon Boon says, the XQC dude makes some good points. Not a lot, and he does make some points, but the way he says them, this is how what is the last 3-4 days of this channel been? How to lose arguments, and XQC is going to teach you better than I do. So Little Toes asked what they even debate in this stream, and it's basically this dude somehow knows Andrew Tate. And it's like 4:30 in the morning, and he texted him. He's like, "Yo, wake up! Somebody disagrees with your views." And I guess this XQC dude had seen some clips about how you treat women, how to be a man, just typical red pill manosphere stuff that your blue pilled plugged in dude is gonna get triggered by. It was basically that we're gonna be skipping a lot for this very reason. We're gonna be skipping a lot. This thing is 2.5 hours long, but it's not going to take us that long to get through it because there's some meat here. There's some meat. There's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit, and we're going to skip that. Let's get into it.
World, you talk to people, especially people who can destroy you with respect. You say, "Oh, Andrew, can you please introduce yourself?" You don't come and say, "Hey, bro," it's just an internet. It's weird.
What do you mean by destroy? Like, what do you mean
by
by
beat his ass or like
if
mentally destroy?
Like men can talk to each other with respect. I think that's how men interact with each other.
In my opinion, wouldn't you say that a respect between two men would be not making me be formal, and you would just understand what I mean, right?
That's a point that I make often when people are when I'm talking to somebody who is has a level of familiarity with me, and then they try to pull some bullshit like that. Like, well, you said that. It's like, motherfucker, you know what I meant.
You just get what I mean, right? When I say, "Yo, man, where are you from?" Like, you can say, "Hello, sir. Can you please tell me where you're from, sir?" Is that what you need?
No, I think that being polite and being formal is something you do.
I was being polite. I softened my voice and I said, "Hey, man, where are you from?" Try
Facts.
pinpoint the accent.
Okay, well, that's not how it sounded. It said, "Hey, stop. Tell me where you're from."
So I have a deep voice, so people take it the wrong way very often.
Yeah, it's a thing. He gets people getting real mad at him for that.
Just some advice for the real world. Anyway.
So again, if that happens to you often, then maybe you want to say, "Oh, I don't mean anything by this. I'm just curious," or something. If you know that it happens a lot, then why aren't you doing anything about it?
I have 1 foot in the real world, brother.
Only one?
Only one. 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
I'm half British, and I'm half American. That's why the accent is.
It's like South American?
No. American.
Bro, chat chill, bro. I'm not fucking trained, bro.
I don't care.
I was born in the United Kingdom, but I've been back and forth between the two countries my whole life.
Okay.
Name, everybody. Nice to meet you. Okay,
I'm also American.
Okay. I think at least me, I think I disagree with most things, but I don't know about Trent. I don't think he knows you that much. All I saw was a couple clips of you, and I didn't want Wikipedia whole search. I want to take the arguments and the takes for what they are, and not with where they come from or whatever. Just straight up face value. That's what you get.
You have something specific you disagree with me on?
Oh yeah, most of the women takes are bad.
So this is remember we were talking about fallacies, logical and formal fallacies. This is an informal mistake of argumentation. If you're going to say somebody else is wrong about, "Hey, we got Kluk in the building. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you with us. Hope you enjoy the party." It's perfectly fine to say to somebody, "I disagree with you about X, Y, and Z." But don't come to them and say, "You're wrong about this." Or even worse, "I disagree with a bunch of stuff you said." And that's it. Like, okay, do you have examples? I say a lot of things. I talk for a living. What are we talking about here? Oh, write some things down. Have some examples.
Yeah, but you have to be specific because the burden of proof is on you. So.
Oh no, literally most of them.
Oh yeah, but you can't say literally most of them. This is a court of law.
Exactly. Like, where does that conversation go? Well, most of the things you say I think are wrong. Okay, thanks for the conversation.
We have a judging panel and everything. You have to come along and take that you disagree with and give your argument as to why it's not true. You can't just
Women
say
can't drive.
Women can't drive was one of them. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
So you don't think that men are overall better drivers than women?
Put a 1 in the chat if you think men are better drivers than women. Put a 1 in the chat if you think men are better drivers than women, and put a 2 in the chat if you don't.
No.
So when you see the worst parking you've ever seen in your life, you don't think it's more likely to be a female?
Yo.
It's just as equally likely to be a man.
He is crazy, bro.
Well, I mean, when I see, exactly what you just said. Yes.
Then that's your opinion. What's the argument?
Well, like I said, it's not. It doesn't have to be an opinion, right? That's at least your anecdotal evidence, which is like kind of a bias, right? when you want to bring out things like women can't drive, you're gonna go with stats, and your stats are off. You're just wrong about them.
Well, everyone is firstly, when you talk about biases, absolutely everybody is biased to their own personal experiences, right? If I've been in 5 car crashes and all 5 of them were driven by women by coincidence, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to think that women are less capable.
Yo.
And then because
You sit here and pretend you're not biased and you're beyond biases is bullshit. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
We're all biased.
Okay, and then like a natural, good, educated human being, you're probably gonna go on the internet and find some study that maybe you're right about it, and then you're gonna figure out that you're wrong.
Study. Oh yeah, the internet study. Oh, why didn't I think of just following the internet study and not?
You're right, because we could have gone for Tate's experience instead.
Why do I
See how hot he's like already, even with Andrew being as calm as he is, dude's just fucking yelling. And it is a cringy point when Tate is like, "Oh, somebody who could destroy you," but he's not wrong. Like, and you'll see a couple times he gets heated, and he's like, "Okay, sorry, I shouldn't have said that," because he knows that he would never speak to Tate like this in real life. And I'm not defending. Again, I'm trying to take this at face value, but so we got Kluk says men are angrier drivers, but better, and women can't parallel park. Yeah, I think the statistics show that men get in more accidents, but men also live riskier lives in general. And so I think if women were to take the same driving risks as men, then we would see female accidents go up like crazy. It's just, yeah, I mean, a lot of people suck. But again, the point that he is making is that if you're going to say you're wrong that women suck at driving, then you have to come back with something instead of just saying, well, no, you're wrong. You know, you have to say something.
For all my own personal experience and obey the internet study and get my 5th injection and just do everything the internet says.
You're right.
My personal experiences, females are as capable of driving as males. That's my personal experience. You can't come along and tell me that's not true. So, and I don't give a shit. Study. So
the next time we have a problem with science or some shit or physics, why go to the internet or talk to some experts? Let's go and ask Tate's experience on it, and we'll have the answer to it, right? You fucking sorry, no insults.
See again, first time. You fucking sorry. Like, say what you're saying or don't. Kluk says the hot approach never works for debates, in my opinion. If you aren't cool and collected, your debate opponent is, then you automatically seem less reasonable. 100%. I wasn't sure if I was going to use this. I'm just going to call him X because I'm not saying XQC a million times. Says X dude was on with Destiny and like was asking him what he did wrong in this debate, and that was hilarious. But it was basically just being like, you're kind of stupid. Like, but basically what Kluk is saying, like, why'd you come in so hot, and why were you trying to, why were you trying to do it like that? Just stop being so hot. But yeah, already we, I don't know the time. We're 18 minutes into my stream, and he's already like, oh, sorry.
I got unhinged. Sorry for that.
It's fine. That's what Twitch does to people.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That's pretty good.
Conversation would be very different in person.
Well, that part's not true for me.
But that's fine. That's the internet. Well, my personal experiences dictate to me, as all of your personal experiences dictate to you, certain realities about the earth. And in my personal experience, every car crash I've been in, every time my car's been hit, the worst parking I've ever seen has always been by a female. Now, I'm not saying females are bad people. I'm saying they're better than men at other things.
Okay.
If you want to talk about internet studies, because you seem to believe internet studies for some reason, even though.
Okay. Internet studies is not a thing. You can find studies on the internet, but unless you're talking about a study of the internet studies, that's not a thing. So, I mean, I get what he's trying to say. I get what Tate is trying to say. If you don't, I could try to parse it out but that's not a thing. Internet studies. Like, yeah, dude, sometimes real science is able to be found on the internet. How the fuck did you know that you didn't want to take a jab if you weren't looking at something on the internet? Right? Kind of already, both sides are a little weak.
You can give me lies. You can give me big lies. You give me statistics.
Don't dish Gallups. They're one thing on topic at a time.
No, studies are the
Bro, I say this all the time. I say, look at all the things that, and I mean, I don't say it all the time, but I've thought of it like a while ago. Like, think of all the things that women are traditionally the best at: doing makeup, hair, cooking. Best in the world? Man.
Biggest lies on earth. But if you want to talk about studies, it's been proven that females do not have the same kind of spatial awareness that men have. They do not have the reaction times that men have. They've not evolved. This has been studied and found. You want to talk about studies?
And yet males cause more crash accidents on the road than women.
So again, as I was saying, I believe that it has to do with risk factor. But Kluk makes a good point, saying X has to source studies from the internet because he apparently doesn't look around when in real life to see these things, or I would say doesn't go and have enough experience to see these things. He doesn't. I mean, when's the last time you think he was in a car with a girl? Yeah, I know.
Cool. So we have
they have less tools than you and studies. Yet they cause accidents, but according to your experience, they cause more accidents. So you're right. So you are right.
Correct. And so we have studies that conflict. And in my personal experience, I feel safer when a man is driving me than if a woman is driving me. That's my personal experience. If you want to sit here hoping that if you keep saying women can drive, you might get a girl, that's your decision. But in my personal experiences, that's not the case. I don't know why we're going to sit here and argue about it.
Perfect. Then in that case, then what you're saying is that since you're such a smart being,
20 hours a day is insane. But I get it. I get it. If I was getting paid and I knew that, like, I was set, I might pull 20 hours too. So, hey, hit the support links and maybe you get 20-hour a day streams.
If you go to the casino and there's 60% red squares and 40% black ones, right? 60-40. You should bet on the 40% black ones because that's how you're going to make money. According to your analysis of these stats, right?
I don't truly understand the analogy.
That is simple. It's very simple. Like I just said. According to your interpretation.
Again, that energy. It's very simple. I just said. Well, he didn't understand you. So maybe reiterate it in a way that he can understand it.
I didn't get it either,
stats on the internet or whatever, right? You would bet on the 40% outcome instead of 60%. And you're saying this is a good bet.
Bro, I know, and I mean this with respect. I know the internet is your life, right? I don't use the internet for stats when I get into a car with a bitch. I don't go and go, okay, well, she's blonde. Let me look up the blonde chicks. Can they drive? Da-da. I get in a car and I look at her driving and go, and this bitch can't drive. That's what I do. Right? And any man who's honest with himself has been in the car with a chick who's driving on some wild ass, crazy, texting on her phone, risking everyone's life. Every man knows what's the truth. Okay. I know you can't say it, but you don't want to get canceled, blah, blah, blah. You just sit here and say, when you get in a car with a girl, you look up an internet study first. Shut up. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? A bad driver on the road that you can see is a bad driver. I don't give a fuck if they're old.
Completely, another thing not to do is completely ignore what the other person is saying to you. Even if you have a point to make, it's very clear when people are just listening to talk and waiting for their turn versus listening to actually hear and understand what you're saying. Multo says a lot of it stealing others' content and call it reaction video. Hey. Relax. Take that personally.
They're missing both fucking hands. If they're a guy, if they're white, if they're black, I don't give a fuck. They can't fucking drive. They can't fucking drive. I don't say, oh, I'm gonna go to the study. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Andrew would take it. They can't fucking drive. Let me break a little bit and fucking change lane, yo.
What? Like, that energy is so cringe. That's such cringe energy. Oh my God.
You don't have a license yet.
I'm gonna interject real quick into this one-on-one here, okay? Do all of you guys remember the example I gave about real life or like the real world versus the internet world?
Yeah.
Well, the example I gave about the word slut. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I think I had that take exactly on point. In the real world, like, I think when Andrew says what he's saying, right? Like, you know, the people are like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, right? But in the internet world, everyone's very, 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 they're very exact, right? So when Andrew says women are bad drivers, the internet assumes that he's saying all women are bad drivers, women are terrible, women are fucking less than, right? So it just depends here. Are you talking like the real world talking where we understand what you're saying? Like when a rapper says all these girls are hoes, right? We know he's not saying all women are hoes. We know what he's talking about. When you go to the party, that one chick that's sleeping with all the dudes is a hoe, right? We get that comparison.
So that's an important point that needs to be made. That is looming over this entire conversation, is that there's two completely different contexts in which these people live. If X is streaming 20 hours a day, then the way that you communicate with people doing that is going to be very, very different than somebody who isn't really online as much. And you know, I mean, I think Tate is using it to be a little bit of a you know, kind of a an insult. Be like, oh, I don't worry about this internet stuff. But when you're in that realm, it doesn't really matter if you care, if your ideas are good or they're not.
But we know he's not saying that. So the real question here is, are you talking with the context of the real world only, where you're kind of just making that generalization, but you don't actually mean the generalization? You understand what I'm saying? Or are you actually a sexist? That's what the question is.
That's
a very good question, and it's very professionally asked. So I like the way you've asked it. It's very professional.
Thank you.
No, you're completely and utterly correct. The way the rapper says all women are hoes is an absolutely perfect analogy. I'm not saying there's not a female on the planet who can't drive a car. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in general, if every man was honest with himself, if he were to ask him, what's the worst driving you've ever seen? What's the most uncomfortable you've ever been in a car? What's the worst parking you've ever seen? What if you were to ask him and he was honest and he wasn't on the internet worried about getting canceled or trying to be correct or looking up statistics or any dumb shit, he'd probably say, I was in the car with this chick once and she nearly killed me. That is not saying women are bad creatures. I'm not saying all women drive that way. It doesn't mean that I don't think females should have a right to drive, etc. I'm saying in general, I think that men have faster reaction times. We are more interested in cars. We enjoy driving more. We pay more attention than women do. That is my experience.
So to hop in real quick, okay, the reason I could kind of predict that, Aiden and everyone else in here, is because I went through the same thing. I came from the real world, okay, and I had the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. It's why the people I got along with most were Call of Duty players, right? Because they had the same experiences as me. We partied, we went out, we had the college life, we had the club life, and we gamed, right? So I understood that lingo. I got in a lot of trouble for it, right? You look at my speeches, I got banned. People said I'm sexist, misogynistic, because I spoke in that exact way. I assumed people were intelligent enough to understand the context in which I was saying these things. But the internet is not like that. The internet applies the worst case scenario, the worst possible context, and they will drill you for it.
Shran, you're fighting ghosts. You're fighting ghosts. Nobody's saying that right now. We're not in that right now. We're talking.
This is why I could predict that he is talking in the real world on the internet. That's the issue. That's the disconnect.
You know, Trent, I'm gonna go against you. I'm gonna say, you know whose fault that is? That is your fucking fault. I know why? Because you are a bad communicator. If you can't communicate your thought properly, the real understanding for what it is, then you are lacking skill in communication to make your point what it actually is. That is your problem.
So again, we have a decent point being made that it is your responsibility to make sure that your message is being understood. The problem is that if you don't know that your message is being misunderstood, how do you know to fix it? And so instead of X giving Tate the opportunity to be like, okay, well, I heard you say this. Do you mean, is this what you mean? Would you like to elaborate? You just assume. And you know what happens when you assume? Yeah, right? Is that guy talking? Talking train? I don't know what talking train means. But yeah, you can see how he's, that's at least arguably good point. But you have to, as he is saying that you're not a good communicator, he's not communicating well. Like, come on, bro.
Okay, I'll respond to that. Then take and go in. Okay. X, as you know now, I communicate very well. Now, when I make my speeches or when I make my points, I don't just explain the real world side. I explain the 1,700 different possible worlds it could be analyzed in, it could be perceived as it could be perceived in. I explain it in every way possible because I have a platform now on the internet. So now I've become a better communicator, and I explain in every context. So yeah. That's my point is.
Oh, I don't know anything about who other than Destiny, Vosh, and Hassan. I don't know anybody who is on Twitch. I'm a YouTube guy. They wouldn't like me much on Twitch.
Right now, Tate is in his, it's the inception of it, right? On the internet from the
Gotcha. Thank you.
Real world. So
then tell me how he is. Then tell me how it is. Say, Tate, I think you are a bad communicator of your takes, and you are bad at dialogue. Say
it's not a bad communicator.
Tell him then.
X, it's not a bad communicator.
That's called a leading. It's not even a question, but a leading statement. And he's putting X is understanding, I guess, Train's point, but he's purposely twisting it to say, okay, well then you're an asshole. Then say that. Or say you think Tate is terrible at his whole life. Say that then, if that's what you mean. It's like, no.
What it is it's an
What? Yeah, I hate. No, doesn't everybody? If you don't hate Hassan, then you got issues. But this is crazy. 24-hour plus streams of gambling. What? Like playing cards or like? That's crazy.
Awareness of the internet type of person. You understand? When you're never on the internet, you don't know. Like, I didn't know people like this existed. You understand? I didn't know they existed. So you can't fathom to even have the possible world to explain something in a way.
Okay. Well, maybe he is aware, but he just doesn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Bonbon, be glad that you don't know. You don't need to know, and you don't want to know, and you're better off for not knowing. Yeah, well, those got it.
Okay,
maybe that's the case.
Okay, Trent, if you make a statement and you say women can't drive, okay, it doesn't matter what your audience is, right? It is a blanket statement.
Have you seen Nick Poland's poll? Nick Poland's poll on Funniest Streamer. Do you know why that is? Because when I'm in person, I make jokes like that. I go, must be a woman driver that caused that accident. I make jokes like that. Do I think all women? No, women are better drivers than I am. I'm a shit driver as a man.
These are joking contexts, yeah. But if you make a statement,
so
and
that's
you're
why
serious
I'm asking.
alone,
Is he just making that generalized kind of stereotypical joke, or is he truly a sexist? That's what I'm asking. I asked him. He said no. He says he's not a sexist. He's making that generalized joke statement.
Okay. Then when you don't have a dialogue with somebody and it's a monologue and you're alone.
How is anybody supposed to have a dialogue when this is how you act? He's there. He's here. This is the dialogue. How are you missing that? Kluk says, many of the top streamers are gambling addicts sponsored by online casinos and play the slots all day, every day. That's a life I don't think I would enjoy. That's a life I don't think I would enjoy. If I was able to stream, like doing what I do, that's a different thing. But, and then, of course, Hassan doing his own thing is, he definitely is making money off those socialists. That's for sure. Was he making a generalized joke statement though with the car thing? I don't think so. But that doesn't mean that he meant every single woman ever. I don't think I even if it's a generalized statement. I think maybe now he's playing it as a joke. But you can see as he goes through the argument, it's not a joke. It's just a generalized statement. And generalized statements don't apply to every single instance. They're just general.
And you go on camera and you say, women can't drive it without no precision, without no saying, oh, exception is exception, without going down the list of why it's a joke, whatever the fuck. You think it's a good?
Hey, we got Say in the building. What's going on, Say? Thank you for joining the party. Welcome. We are just going through the XQC Andrew Tate debate. And yes, it is quite nuts.
You think you're being a good communicator, but then you say women cannot drive it. And the segment.
Wrong. No,
does he own that?
Wait. I got to respond to what he's talking to me. I have a responsibility. Just talking here. I apologize for interrupting you, but just hear me out here, okay? Hey.
That's wild.
Yeah, I believe, listen, I don't think he has the experience on the internet yet to understand why he is in the wrong to make, I think there's a dramatization, right? I think he is intelligent and is aware of what he's doing. It's a dramatization for these dumb fucks in the chat that sit there and say, fuck, yeah. It's a dramatization factor.
Okay, let's make a side. Say a statement like that, but instead replace. Hey, Trent,
I agree with you, Ed.
Okay. Then if you're ready to prove your own point then, right? About the severity of it. How about make a same statement for the same topic, another one, about black people? Go ahead. Do it now. Do it.
But why would we
do it? Do it right now. Do it. Who are you? I noticed Tate just sitting back and letting this fucking guy just, say whatever. It's ridiculous.
I made that point earlier. About the consistency argument.
I'm just saying. If it's not bad, because it's a joke because it's.
I didn't say it's not bad. I said the dramatization of the too far jokes is for the dramatization to get people in. And I said that part is wrong. And I do have a consistency. You ask Nick Poland in front of him. I make those jokes. I make all kinds of jokes about everything and everyone. Believe that. You ask Nick Poland, he'll go live right now and say I do.
Okay, so why don't you ask Tate if you would say that about a race or something like that, a generalization like that, about a joke about a race or ethnicity.
Race being an alpha right now.
Listen, and again, the how. I don't want to say it's useless, but the fact that they haven't really gotten anywhere in the conversation that they are trying to have is completely on X. Completely. Because he's not, he's just trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to win without having the conversation. He's trying to take victory for the debate without having the debate. That is what is happening. This would ruin my goddamn life. I have an addictive personality, and that would not be good for me. But hey, start a Twitch channel and go ahead and gamble.
Listen, let's understand my
question.
Let him
So
talk.
I'm half black, half white, right? That's my ethnicity.
Wait,
so we understand my ethnicity. I made a joke an hour ago with one of my cousins, because half my family's black, half my cousin's white. And he said he wanted to go free diving. It's where you dive down in the water and you go deep with no scuba equipment with sharks or some shit. And I said, bro, that's what white people do that shit. I'm too brown for that. I'm not going with the sharks. I just made a joke. There. Oh no, cancel me. Who gives a fuck? When I make a statement,
that's another point about the word joke, is that you can be joking. There's a difference between joking and in the sense that you're playing around and you're being like lighthearted versus telling a joke. And so if you're saying, oh, women suck at driving, like, you're not making a joke. But unless you are, you're not inherently, on a tirade that's trying to take women's licenses away or anything like that. Like, oh, facts. Well, so aging yourself there back in the Game Boy Color days. But yeah, it's sad that for the number one Twitch streamer, this is what he does, and this is how he does it. Gives me a lot of confidence, because give me 5 minutes with him, I'll take his whole goddamn following, and they probably won't agree. I guarantee you we have different political stances.
Bro, listen, when I make a statement, maybe you do.
And just so what I gathered was that what we are watching right here is a screen recording that's being put on this dude's Twitch channel. So because he is muted, you can see. I don't know if you can see it. He's muted for them, but he keeps talking, and he's got a chat going here. So I spent 6 hours. Yep, I hear ya. I hear ya. Hit one if you know Pokemon Red. But yeah, so if we hear him jumping in, he's just talking to his audience.
Maybe you have all the fucking time in the world to sit on the internet, my friend. But when I make a statement, I don't have time to say, in my personal experience, I don't believe women can drive. However, I understand that some women can drive, and I'm not saying all women can't drive, and I know women who can drive, but in my personal experience, the bad driving I've seen was most likely committed by women. I don't talk like...
That's something that I've had to find is you have to strike that balance. It's insane. It's insane that you can't make as innocuous as a joke as, oh, women can't drive, without having to go through that whole thing that he just said. In my experience, based on the... But people will always look for the worst interpretation.
Fucking geek. I say women can't drive. Now, if that upsets geeks like you, cool, whatever. Because geeks, I don't give a fuck. That's what I say. If it upsets people, tough. That's my personal experience. You're gonna have to get the fuck over it. That's life. If you want to say I'm a bad communicator, once again, that's your prerogative. But I would disagree. I think I'm very good at communicating. It's the only reason I'm even fucking here. It's the only reason I'm even on the internet. It's because when I talk, people listen. So I must be doing something right.
I mean, it's easy to dog whistle to like misogynist. That's really easy. It's one of the easiest things out there. Preaching to the choir. That's so easy to begin and follow and doing that. You hate women on these points and these points.
Wow. I have never seen somebody who talks for a living approach a discussion like this in such bad faith. You hate women, and those are like, bro, holy shit. Exactly. And Bull Rush, it doesn't sound like a joke, just sounds like an opinion. Fair. Maybe again, I'm not claiming to speak for him. And as he just explained, maybe that is his opinion, and whatever. But I don't have an issue with you saying that women can't drive. I mean, again, when he said before, when you see bad parking, what picture who comes to mind when you think who was driving? So he says, XQC used to be my oasis when I was thirsty. Interesting. He used to be my vision when I was blind. Nah, it's like he's a trash streamer. I fully support. Again, I'm not here to stand for Andrew Tate. I have seen a number of things he's done, and some of it was good, and some of it was cringy. So I haven't cared to look into him that deeply. So I don't know too much. So again, I'm just going based on what we are watching. Hook says, I really don't understand why X talks like he does. He doesn't even speak in full words. He cuts off every word with the next one at a rapid pace, including the words that other people are speaking.
It's gonna be easy to stack them up like fucking easy. Holy shit! I built a fucking world of community based on being toxic. It's the easiest thing in the world. Way easier than being good and being nice.
I'm a very good and nice person.
Surely.
By saying that, I think that men are more capable of driving than women. It does not make me a bad person or a not nice person. That means that if I car and it's snowing and it's late at night and it's dark, I'm going to drive. I'm not going to let some 18-year-old chick drive. I'm going to fucking drive because I like staying alive. And let me tell you something.
Why did you bring it up? Because last time you talked about car accidents or whatever, and then you brought stats. You said that, well, it's because the males may be doing more accidents because they're young, right? So even your own example, right, you would actually prefer having a young female driver, not a young male, according to you. That's what you said last time on the fucking podcast, didn't it? Is exactly what you said it. I'm using your words against you. You said that, oh yeah, males do more.
Even in the back, oh my God. You said the quiet part out loud, bro. You're not supposed to say, I'm using your words against you. You just say, I'm using your words. Because that is not, it doesn't show that you're trying to win instead of understand. I'm using your own words against you. Ooh. Fucking loser. Yeah, pretty much.
Crash when you're young because they're young.
But that is an interesting dynamic of, this whole social media online world, is that we would never see this conversation if the internet didn't exist. And I don't know, just from an anthropological standpoint, it's interesting. I don't know.
Excited, whatever. You said I would let a young girl drive my car, then you would let.
Okay.
I'm just saying, because it's about it.
Listen, let me tell you something, my friend. There's a cognitive dissonance. There's some serious damage that the internet's doing to society. I spoke about it on Aiden Ross on his podcast. I spoke about how the internet as a whole has changed the world. I'm old enough to see it. And one of the ways it's changed the world is when there are certain beliefs, there are certain paradigms which are not allowed to be punctured, certain parameters which are set by the matrix in which you must pretend certain things are true. People ignore their own eyes and their own ears because they are afraid of upsetting the matrix. And my point is that a person like you, and I mean this with respect, I'm not here to argue with you, this is a professional debate. A person like you whose entire income, personality, his importance, his ego, everything relies on a Twitch account. If you lose it, you ain't shit. If you lose it, you ain't shit. And the problem is that you could be in 10 car crashes driven by 10 different women, and you will still not come here and say women can't drive as well as men because you are afraid. You are not non-biased. You are sitting here inside of parameters that you must conform to or you don't exist. I don't give a fuck. That's the difference between you and me. That's why I think things other people
I don't know what it means, the last part. I mean, you're talking about the matrix and the systems or whatever the fuck, but you don't even reason why you're relevant.
So again, you're starting, I don't really understand what you're saying. So then stop talking or ask a question to clear up what he is saying. You're talking about the matrix and yeah, the matrix of being an online person. That is very clear. That is very clear. You're just not listening.
Cool in the real world because you have money. Talk about the matrix, the fucking currency, and you think you're the top two because of that.
And that's, yeah. What are we talking about? On the last stream, logical fallacies. That is a perfect straw man. What we got here? Just so everybody knows, I quit caffeine a few years ago, number of years ago, and there's usually a mix of regular seltzer and a little bit of alcohol in here. So I don't know. I usually have a little bit of food here, but I don't know. I'm just a skinny dude, and that was way before I started streaming. So I don't know.
It makes you more important than other people who have value to society.
I'm not only the top G because I have money. In fact, I think I talked about this with Aiden Ross as well. I talked about how money is an amplifier. Money alone will not make you significant or important. I talked about how money will amplify. I was before I was rich. I was the man before I was rich, and then I got rich on top. That's what that amplified me.
That's really annoying. The dude who's hosting here. Oh my god, yo, bro. Oh my god. I don't know how old these dudes are, but like, just the fact that another dude is saying something shouldn't. Oh my god. Like, if you're like, facts, preach. Oh, that's a good point. But that's so fucking. I was gonna say the G word, but we're not allowed to say that anymore.
All it's done, it hasn't changed who I am. There's plenty of people who lost money who ain't shit.
Okay, so because of the vehicle of my message is Twitch, it's devalidated.
It's not that it's devalidated at all, my friend.
Click, that might be a little bit further down the list. and are off it all day. Yeah. I mean, you gotta be, because even just sitting here watching a video, like I'm a tiny channel. There's fucking 5 of us here right now, and trying to keep up with making sure I've got all my shit going. I got different tabs of where everything's playing, make sure everything's good, making sure this is good, keeping the you got to be on point. And I can't imagine if you got 10K people in the chat, fucking like I don't know how these motherfuckers do it, but one day.
I think that Twitch is a fantastic. And you're meeting lots and lots of people, and I'm here on Twitch as well myself. My point is that you exist inside of parameters. The people who rely on the system will always fight to defend the system. The parameters are set in a way in which you cannot be completely and utterly honest, even if you're personal.
The people who benefit from the parameters of the system will always fight to uphold them. People who benefit from the parameters of the system will always fight to uphold them. That's an interesting point there. And let's see if he actually engages with it.
Experience tells you so. We don't even have to talk about driving. We can talk about anything. We talk about the last 3 years where you walked around, didn't see a single sick person, and you had to pretend that you were supposed to be scared inside of your house because the parameters have told you if you say anything else, you lose your entire life. And your life is online. This is the reality. Not most people are not allowed to say what they think.
Okay, this works both ways though. It's not because you have harsher takes and crazier takes that this doesn't apply to you. I feel like you preach to the choir to fucking incels. Literally, that's like your bread and butter.
Wait, isn't that you?
So by extent, you try not to go against these opinions because you're going to lose these people. Like that's just how it is.
So that's an interesting point of view, and we'll go into it in a second. But first things first, I want to clarify, because as I said, I'm a professional, and this is a professional debate. My takes are not harsh or extreme. Every single man, every single sports club, every single football team, every single group of men sitting around having a drink will make a joke about how women can't drive. Every single fucking one. So to sit here and pretend I have some extreme view is bullshit. It may be extreme on the internet where people are afraid.
I broke internet, like that.
Oh my god, this is getting really good too. Hold on. So I'm gonna say internet.
Yo, X, how you feeling during this halftime report? How you feeling about this conversation?
I'm okay.
He's kind of debunking you right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm only questioning. I haven't even started making.
No, the fuck, you're not questioning shit. You're fucking saying that you got it all figured out, and you're telling him what's what. Okay, I'm just questioning.
Hold on, Top G.
But you say, "Oh no, he's going on crazy rants because it's a character. What is that? It's not."
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by the monkey dance? What do you mean by the monkey dance? What do you mean by that?
Hold on, Top G is back. Hold on.
Yeah. What's up, Top G?
They just fucking go for a run, bro.
Something's wrong with my internet. I don't know why.
Is there bad Wi-Fi over there?
It's a brokey
internet.
Who cares? I hate that's a little pet peeve of mine. If you're running a show and there's some trouble, don't hang on the trouble more than that. And I kind of feel like I'm doing it right now, but I'm just for those of you who have channels, if something goes wrong and then it's fixed, just go on with the show. Don't be like, "Oh, what happened? How's your internet over there?" Nobody gives a shit. You're in the middle of a goddamn debate.
Can you hear me now, though? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So where were we?
I don't remember. It was fuck. Yeah, reiterate because we were talking when you went out there.
I believe before he lagged out, you were giving the example of how before he gave the example that the male accidents that are high are young males, and he gave an example that he wouldn't hop in a car with an 18-year-old chick, and you said that he's countering or he's being hypocritical and being contradictory to his previous statement that young men cause accidents. The majority of male accidents.
Georgiana,
is that your
say? Who is this aimed at?
maid?
No, it's a masseuse. Georgiana, can you bring my sunglasses, please? I don't know where they are.
Yo.
Right. She's like, why is he talking to me like that? He didn't talk to me like that off camera, bro. What the fuck?
So what were we talking about?
Yeah. He definitely apologized to her.
Yo, be real. When the camera comes up, you're probably like, "Yo, I'm sorry, I'm speaking to you though."
All right. So who thinks he was already in the middle of a massage with a cigar? And who thinks he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on camera. Let me bust out the masseuse."
I'm sure takes care of her off camera. None of this shit.
I'll give you a good sip today. I'm sorry.
Dude, that internet lag. That's what can set this skit up for sure.
Wait, who that?
Yeah, we're down the right.
Yeah, you got.
Oh my God, who is that?
Oh, no, never mind. You got no.
X, cover your eyes, bro.
Yes.
I said, who thinks that? Because Tate's got this masseuse massaging him now. Who thinks he was already? Because remember, he said he was sleeping, and this dude woke him up saying that somebody disagreed with him. So I'm saying, who thinks that Tate was already going to get a 5 a.m. massage? And who thinks he's just doing it because he's on camera and knows this is going to get a lot of play?
So what are we arguing about?
Yo, this guy, bro. Look at this guy, bro. This nigga swear he cool as shit, bro.
This man's a GTA character.
Bro.
Well, it's not organized. I had the massage planned, but Aiden messaged me. So obviously she has to do it while I work. That's how it goes.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know what we're arguing about. I don't know. I think we're going off the deep end. Yeah, but I think you said something about the Matrix, and you said that my income depends on me acting a certain way, so I preach the quiet type of shit. When I said that I genuinely think that you have your own Matrix in that regard, and you do the same for your views and your things. That's how it is.
Well,
If it's a happy ending, I'm sure hoping they don't show it.
I think that different people appeal to different people. That's fine. That wasn't the point I was making at all. The point I was making at all is that you are not allowed to have a controversial opinion. I am. That's the point I was making. The point I was making is that I do not need the internet to be rich or to be significant.
Yo, Say is going in right now. X, that's why you. I caught you at 7-Eleven sipping tomato juice out your left armpit at a porta potty while simultaneously blowing on a trumpet. What? What?
Okay. So I don't give a fuck. I've been banned 1,000 times. I'll be banned 1,000 times more. And it doesn't even cross my mind. My point is, respectfully, if you were to conclude through your own personal experiences, if you were to come to a conclusion which you know the parameters of the Matrix see is controversial, you still wouldn't even fucking say it because it's all risk and no reward for you. That's why I'm saying that for you to sit here and disagree with everything I say, I understand why you're doing it. Okay. I also understand why you will ignore your own eyes, your own ears, and your own personal experiences. You'll ignore them completely because it doesn't benefit you to talk the truth. You will sit here and you will repeat the new thing, the new speech. You will say what you were supposed to say. That is we all have different.
Oh, come on.
No.
Yo, this motherfucker.
Bro, why did they just go in this fucking... Bro, why is the net so fucking bad?
No!
Entertainment, and none of it is real, which I think is a complete fucking... It's an absolute oversight.
Yeah, I mean, Bubman, it's not necessarily a debate in the sense that, like, okay, you're gonna come here and say that you're gonna defend this side. This is our prompt. You're gonna defend this side. You're gonna defend that side. This is just a if you're not familiar, this is what the Discord voice chat rooms look like. So you can just cam up there and or not and hang out and have these conversations. And sometimes these debates, quote unquote, just kind of come about. And if you're lucky enough to catch them on camera, then you can get a viral video. Gook says, I think it's more than likely Tate gets regular massages and had one that day, but definitely did it earlier just for the camera. Yep. I'm not gonna keep reading this, but I'll let these.
Matrix doesn't want you. Can you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's shutting.
No, Andrew's saying that the Matrix, which I agree, is not one to talk. I agree because it's shutting him down all the time.
So we're still kind of getting into what it is that they're talking about. The premise is that X disagrees with Tate's takes, and they're attempting to figure that out. So, I mean, again, it's not a set debate where it starts at 9:00. So they're going to be giving their opening arguments and stuff. It's a conversation. I mean, this is, even though this is kind of a shit show, there's a lot to learn here. And that's why, I was flirting with not showing this and not using this because it's a little bit all over the place. But, I really think we can all benefit from seeing how this plays out and why why you should do this and why you shouldn't do that, and then the actual contents of what they think, we can talk about those as well. Lots going on here.
W translator.
I'm not dick sucking, Silky. Somebody stopping the fucking connection.
You're putting it all in there, bro. Just chill.
Tell him stop.
Agents.
Maybe we can talk about another topic, and then maybe it's gonna be less controversial and be less Matrixers somehow.
Let's go.
Well, I don't get it.
I was told that you disagree with everything I say, so I'm just here to.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, some of the motivational shit, whatever the fuck, it's like reiterated stuff that you hear on fucking billionaire self-help books or some shit, which are fine. I agree with a lot of them. I'm not gonna fucking dick ride and say that I agree with the rest of them because that's what people do. Say a lot of true shit and you slip some dog shit in the middle, and then people will take it as the truth.
Like what? Like what, dude? You have not said anything that Tate has said that you don't like, except for the fact that he shouldn't say that women can't drive? And he responded with, everybody makes that joke. So what are, you know, it's really, I don't know.
It's just fair.
Well, I don't. Well, I don't
Sad.
try and slip dog shit into my views. My views are my views, and they're based on my personal experiences, and I don't try and slip dog shit in. I don't attempt to do that on purpose. I don't think it's dick riding to agree with everything someone says either. I don't think it's dick riding to agree with people.
Thank you.
The internet's, like I said, I'm new to all this space. It's weird.
This is a fantastic point, Kluk. This is a fantastic point because you see the energy that Tate has. He's like, oh, I'm above all of this. But he's here. He's trying to get, you know, like I was saying before, we've all seen that Tate has been all over everybody's timeline. I've seen memes about it. So clearly, it's not just a random thing. The guy's been around. He's clearly doing a media push. So Kluk makes a fantastic point here about both somebody who has the clout for it to be worth it for Tate to be here, but also just a regular ass motherfucker.
It's a weird place. Like if I were to come along and say I 100% agree with all of the things that X man says, people are going to insult me for that. I don't see. I'm not saying I agree with every single thing about his being, but the things he says on the internet, I may agree with all of them. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I see. I also agree with that. I also agree that this new this thing of meta of saying, "Oh, dick writer," or whatever, because you generally agree with all the takes. It just so what happened to it. People say dick writing. That's fucking stupid.
He just said that. He just said, "I'm not going to agree with everything you said and dick ride you."
Agree. Okay, but other than that, though, I just feel like a lot of times, like I said, I agree with some of your good takes, right, about things that are motivational, whatever the fuck, right? Whenever you just slip in some garbage, right? It happens a lot.
Hold on. Actually, might have frozen.
Do you see it? You think you see it?
Hey, Tate, look at him. Look at him, bro. He's dumb,
Look at him, bro.
He's dumb, bro. He's having the time of his fucking life and that, bro.
And I hit someone's weed, and they like put shit in it, bro. I got laced like bad.
Well, like some white.
Look at this guy.
Cocaine.
It was coke.
All right, moving on. I told you we don't skip the bullshit. Don't worry.
Finally,
Look at this guy, bro.
And
That's a white widow right there.
And Benny, I think it's called. It's just it makes you tired. It's like a whatever. But the point is, I was so young, just tripping the fuck out, bro. Like that's what it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that shit was like really scary for me. I was like really I had bad anxiety attack. It was fucked up.
I can add the lady because she's a paid actor. You think she's a paid actor?
Andrew.
Yo, Aiden, honestly, Andrew, honestly, give me your masseuse's Bitcoin address. I'll send her like $100,000. She'll never have to do that again.
This, the fact that I know that dude is a streamer now and makes money like that, this caught me so off guard. But now it makes a lot more sense.
Do you have Bitcoin? Bitcoin, you know what it is? You don't have? I'm going to set you up because this baller here is going to send you $100,000. I know he wouldn't lie online.
I wouldn't lie. See,
Oh,
he
shit.
thinks, yeah.
He's captain. He thinks Jade's actually captain.
Oh man, you have no idea.
I hope not. Like I would respect it very
He
much.
thought that I was fucking around trying to man up. I'll do it.
That would change her life, and I would love to see that. That would make me very
Happily,
happy.
baby. I got it. Set her up. Just make sure it's going to her, not you or anyone else. Please.
Bro,
She's giving you great massages. Why don't you change your life, bro? Come on, man.
But do you have any family members or children who
That's a good point.
understand Bitcoin? Your children have Bitcoin? Nothing?
Well, if you set her up an account and like cash it out for her and like somehow set up a bank, like I'll send extra just for that. Like if you have an assistant or someone that can do that, I'll happily take. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll get someone on it now.
All right, add me on Discord. We'll get this done for her. I'm down.
All
All right,
right,
awesome.
come on.
Cool.
As for the internet, it's something that's happening on the street because there's people out in the street complaining. Like there's the whole street, the internet.
It's done. Cool. Opportunity given, right? You brought her on the platform. You see that big ass nose right there? That big ass nose picture? Just
I have a question. Bro, how did you start and how did you make money?
There we go.
Yeah, he's the fucking oh.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, how'd you become the richest man on the planet, trillionaire or some shit?
Trillionaire.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
So I was a kickboxer for a long time. I was fighting for money. There's not that much money in kickboxing. And then my first serious entrepreneurial. I mean, I ran lots of businesses, did this, did that, something.
Like what?
Okay. Everything, man. I had a normal job for a while when I was kickboxing, and I did some different things, and I did some things I shouldn't have done, and blah blah blah, and was in jail for a little while, and got
You're 100% right, Bullish. We'll come back to this.
out, and then I opened up a webcam company. I had girls sitting on the internet talking to men, and I ended up scaling that up to having 75 women working for me.
So that's where I've heard some shadiness going on, but I don't know anything for sure. I've heard that, but that's what you would hear. That's also what you would expect to happen. But I'm just saying I've heard some shady shit around his cam girl thing, but I haven't seen any proof. Just letting you guys know where I stand.
That's how I first made millions of dollars.
Fucking porn website.
Damn, what the fuck?
You don't know this story? This is like my most known story online.
You never told it to me.
It's a really long story, and I've told it very, very well on some other podcasts. But the short version of it was I got in some debt to some dangerous men, and I needed money fast. And I was sitting in my room trying to work out a way to make money because at the time I was only fighting, and I didn't have a fight coming up for a while. And I was researching how money works. Like I was trying to understand how money works, where it comes from. This is where I learned about the Federal Reserve and fractional reserve banking and all these things. So interesting point he made earlier about the matrix and its currency and how it's all a lie. I understand all that very well, but that really made me mad because now I understand money's bullshit and I still don't have any, and I was really upset. And I was sitting there with a piece of paper trying to write down my assets and my liabilities and trying to write down all the geek shit they tell you. And for assets, I wrote down that obviously I'm strong, but I'm already fighting. I'm brave, but I'm already fighting.
So I'm not going to read this out loud for obvious reasons, but this is what I heard. And again, that is what you would assume if there's anything that's going to go awry in that area. That's what you would expect. But like, how are you pretty sure? What have you heard? Because I mean, again, I would love to know for sure one way or the other. But I'm with Bullrush, and he heard some shady stuff, but no evidence to attach to it. So while we have a minute, let's go back to Bullrush's great comment here. He said, "X really let his emotions take over. Him talking to Destiny afterwards, which I was flirting with, using as part of the stream, but it's not really that interesting if you don't care." About like they're not, nothing's happening between them, so you really have to care. And I sat through it not caring at all, just for you guys. Not to mention, then today, Abba from Abba and Preach was on with X and Destiny, and I watched that whole thing too. Not useless, but not really for my. So him talking to Destiny afterwards makes it known that he thinks Tate is a bad example for impressionable watchers. He thought it was an obvious dunk, but not so. And you're 100% right, because most people from X's circle would obviously think, oh, of course, it's toxic masculinity. This guy's comparing women to cars. This guy did it. That's exactly what they would think. But that is exactly why this is so interesting to see how does this play out when these two worlds collide of, the woke Twitch streamer and the alpha top G whatever. It's interesting. Anything else here? Yeah, what about Romania though?
All these girlfriends, but I thought, well, I can't afford to open a strip club. I'm not going to put them out on the track. I'm not that kind of guy. They're my girls. And then I discovered by accident when I was clicking around on these websites, I saw those things in the corner, talk to live girls now. And I thought, well, my girls could do that. And long story short, I ended up with 75 women and 4 premises and making $1.4 million a month. And that's how it all started. That was about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, that's the story. Yeah, there's an in-depth version of it, but that's the story. And people listen to that and they seem to think that for some reason I was exploitative, but it's absolutely the opposite. I'm a feminist, bro. I empower women to make as much money as they want to make.
Never, ever, 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 ever trust a man who calls himself a feminist. Now, again, in the same context as the joke or not joke about women being bad drivers. Hey, we got JH in the building. What's going on, JH? It's funny for X to say that he is pushing slots when which gets to the good point. But yeah, never trust anybody who a man who calls himself a feminist. But I'm sure that if you nailed him down, I'm sure he used that specifically because of the context he was in, and he's like, oh, they'll receive this in the way that I want them to. I'm not a feminist in the same sense that I, believe in the wage gap myth. But he wants women to do well. I think that's fair enough. Whether or not he has the proper views on how that should or should not be done is for all you to decide. But very clear that he is playing a character, maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
I help him do it. I'm here, and
as long as it's for you,
but
right?
He was a pimp.
Hold on. So look, X. This is what I wanted to actually ask a question because I know it was a question that you had. Hold on, Andrew. The one of the takes that you made on my stream about that you should take 100% of your girls' OnlyFans. I know actually you felt some type of way about that. Andrew,
I mean, they said that you were
So
joking.
the claim is that if you're with a girl and she's going to do OnlyFans, Tate says that that if he is to allow that in his relationship, then he is taking 100% of the revenue. Yeah, 100% of revenue.
100%, you weren't joking. So I assume that you were joking, but I still hold the stake that you weren't.
Well, it depends, right? So if it's a girl who were to come to me and say, Andrew, I would like you to help me make money on OnlyFans, and they would come to me for my marketing expertise, then of course it would be a fair deviation. I make 20%, 30%, whatever. That's different. But if it's my girlfriend, my long-term partner, and we're going to be together forever, and she decides to go down that particular career path, I think I should have a much larger stake because she is my girl, and she is now giving away some of the most private and intimate parts of her body to the internet. Those parts of her body belong to me effectively because she's my woman. That's the whole point of being with somebody. So to pretend to do that and make a bunch of money and give me nothing I find that disrespectful. I would sooner tell her, look, you're not doing OnlyFans, and she would.
Yes, so I called it then that you weren't actually joking. It was an actual true statement, right?
Yeah, if I had a serious long-term girlfriend and me and her are together and we're gonna be together forever, and she says I'm desperate to do OnlyFans, I say you don't need to. We're rich. She goes, no, I really want to. I say, okay, the money's mine then.
Yeah, we can dismantle these statements into like small rocks. We can approach them one at a time, right? Because there's a lot that, respectfully, okay. I think there's a lot of parts of that are garbage, right? But I don't want to say something.
See again, instead of just saying there's a lot of parts of that are garbage, just say there's a lot of parts of that I would like to clear up. There's a lot of parts that maybe I'm getting the wrong idea. It's the same exact message, but you become your status in the conversation and in that man's eyes, along with everybody who's watching, goes up. Bull Rush, I do not know. Again, I don't know much about him. I only know the clips that I've seen, and he's been on podcasts that I've seen. But if anybody knows, Bull Rush is looking for courses.
The whole rock, and we have to do a small rock pebble at a time, right? So, also, this motherfucker can laugh over here. You see next to me? Los Polos. He's laughing, but he said you were trolling it, so you were joking 100%. But he's only a summer now, because he's going to be, right? But he said you were wrong 100% about this, and so wrong that you were joking. So I don't know why he's holding his tongue right now.
What did I do?
I'm just saying.
It's a very particular scenario, right? You have to understand that the scenario in which I would take 100% is a very, very particular one. In general, when I had my business, and I know you're saying that they only made money for me. They made money for themselves. I turned girls. I would actually sit here and say, as the biggest misogynist on this panel, I turned more girls into multimillionaires than any of you. I've made girls multi-millionaires. This is 10 years ago at the beginning of all this shit, before OnlyFans and webcamming was new. I took girls from Starbucks and made them millions and millions and millions of dollars and paid them fairly, never missed a single paycheck.
Okay.
I'm as feminist as you can get. Now, yeah, I got...
Like I said,
I'm just messing with you, Bull Rush.
Okay, no disrespect once again. Okay, I just feel like this is like the type of argument that goes like, I have 3 friends that are black when making certain comments or whatever. So I don't, unfortunately, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I don't get mad at you.
Okay. Well, respectfully, I think that is genuinely the same vibe, energy comments, right? Oh, I can't be against women because I helped 4 or 5 of them. Oh, I'm not against women because I made...
Didn't he just say he had, it was 70?
A couple of them millionaire or whatever the fuck, right?
It's not about being against women. I'm saying that the whole was a net positive for both me and the females. So you've misunderstood my point. You think I'm making a different point, and that's why you've come to that conclusion. The point I'm making is that everybody who worked for me won. The only person who lost was the guy sending his money away online. That's fine. But for everyone who was associated with me, both me, it wasn't exploitative because you made it sound like I only did it for me. No, the women who worked for me also made millions of dollars. Everybody who was associated with me, everyone won. All of them.
X is incapable of letting somebody finish a sentence. And of all the terrible things he is doing, just on the face of how to have a conversation, not even the content of what he's saying. There's so much that he's doing wrong, but that's the worst. That is the worst. Just constantly interrupting. And then as whoever it was said earlier, I think it was Kluk saying he just cuts himself off, doesn't speak in full sentences. Like, slow down. Even go back and watch some of my first streams. It's nerve-wracking. And so you kind of, especially if you're like me, where you watch all your content sped up, then you feel like you have to spit out all the words really fast. But I found out people would much rather watch you talking a little bit slower and a lot more clearly than if you're just talking like this and then you try to say everything that you want to say in the exact amount of time that you want to say it, and you like, whoa. Click says, I really don't understand why people think making the argument in your own defense that you have black friends when someone calls you racist is invalid. Because it doesn't necessarily, because it doesn't, like, just because you have black friends doesn't mean that you're not racist. Just because you're have black friends doesn't mean that you can't say something that is racist. Just because you have black friends doesn't mean that you can't You guys know where I stand on the whole systemic racism thing, but there are systems in place that, you know, cause and effect from the past, all of that stuff. You can say things that are racially insensitive, and racist is a catch-all for anything bad around race. So I guess theoretically you could be a racist, and or I guess theoretically if you have black friends you're inherently not a racist, but that's too broad of a generalization even for me. And there you go.
Yeah, for business activities or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't talking about that at all. All I meant was, okay, but fuck it. Let's just skip this tangent we're on.
So that's let's call it 2.5 points that X has brought up, and now he said, okay, well, let's talk about something else.
Let's just go back to the main argument. You said it. So I have more of a stake. So you think that in a relationship you have a certain stake on your partner's income based on what that income comes from.
Well, depending on how they make it, absolutely. I think that in a relationship with a woman, if the man is with that woman, the main reason he knows he's with her is the fact that she is sexually exclusive to him. If you're with a woman, she's fucking everyone. Are you even with her? No. How do you know she's even yours? Because she only sleeps with you, right? Well, if all of her intimate parts are now for everybody and they're purchasable, then I think you have a stake in said parts because those parts belong to you. She gives them to you when she decides to be a woman.
So there's a price that you're taxing your loss of privacy.
That's a way you could put it. I mean, personally, if my woman were to come to me and say she wants to go OnlyFans, I'd just say no because I'm not interested.
Okay, then.
But example.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, respectfully, let's have it. Let's try to
upscale. So let's keep in mind here what Tate just said about this example that he was given. He was saying much more quickly, just saying no, you're not doing OnlyFans. But he's entertaining the thought experiment. He's entertaining the argument. Keep that in mind, because that's going to come back later, and let's see if X gives him the same courtesy. Luke says it's quite funny he uses the word stake when all Twitch streamer gambling are sponsored by an online casino. You think that's why he said it?
That discussion and see what kind of stake would you need for your girl to suck another guy's dick.
I would never tolerate down any level, so that's too far. But
well, I mean, there's a price for the pictures and the loss of intimacy. For me, it's a black and white thing.
Chad, for $1 million,
once you lose a certain amount, you can lose more of it.
Would you let your girl suck a dick?
I understand what you're saying.
No?
To me, it's not because pixelated pictures on the internet are very different than sucking an actual dick. So I would never let my girls be prostitutes. None of the girls who ever worked for me ever prostituted. I've never associated with a prostitute. I'm not associated with porn stars, none of that kind of shit. But I had very wholesome girls with pictures of their titties on the internet 10 years ago who made themselves millionaires. Yes. And now they're happily married with somebody or whatever. Or some of them are still with me. It doesn't matter. But I was never like getting girls to prostitute or hardcore pimping along that line. I use the word pimp because I had a lot of women who worked for me and they were all beautiful and it sounds cool. But truthfully, I don't even really see myself in that regard. I think I'm less of a pimp than most corporations. Like the girls who work for me 50%. You don't get 50% of the cash register when you work at McDonald's.
Okay, they can also people can be pimps.
I don't even get 50% of the clients that I sign up that my boss has never even seen or talked to. Damn.
And companies can be pimps to a certain level, right? Which has anything to do with you being a certain level of a pimp. I think if your girl is doing something, an activity of her own will, I feel like taxing her that's being a pimp, like, quite literally. You are pimping at the wazoo. Yeah, you are pimping.
I understand, and maybe
you just said that, bro.
Never had the kind of relationships I've had with my women, but any woman I'm with decides to, by her own free will, submit to me because she sees me as her intellectual superior. She sees me as her life superior. She looks up to me and she respects me. And she sees.
He said the S word. Submit. Soy boy triggered.
She sees me as and for that reason, if she were to come along and say do OnlyFans, and I said no, she wouldn't do it. But if she insisted on doing it, I would sit here and say, look, I'm unhappy with you doing this, making a bunch of money off of parts which are supposed to be intimate only for me. If this is going to happen, I need to have some kind of compensation for my unhappiness. Yes. And she would understand and she would pay me. But this is not a scenario I need to be involved in. This is just a hypothetical, right? But all the girls who worked for me, they were not romantically involved. They were girls who decided to make a bunch of money and they came to the best of the business, which was me.
So you would be okay with then paying them for their discomfort in other areas then? That'd be something that you're open to.
Finally, we get a good question from X. So he's saying that, I have an inconvenience and I'm taxing you on that inconvenience because it's money related. And so he's trying to flip it. Obviously, we already know that doesn't, Tate already has thought about this. But at least finally, he's engaging with what Tate is saying and trying to have the conversation the way a conversation should be had.
Sure. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I think that all men do naturally anyway, right? Let's. I understand your point you're making, so let's extrapolate on it. You're saying that if I do something that they're unhappy with, I should give them money. Well,
see what happens when you're A, not a dick, B, listen, and C, present logical and intelligent counterpoints, you get a good conversation.
Well, the point is, I think that all high value men do that naturally anyway. If you take a billionaire on a boat,
naturally, it's kind of indirect of a term.
Shut the fuck up.
Naturally is more indirect and more like intended, right? Since for you it's transactional and intentional.
I'm surprised that Tate is not like saying like, listen, little boy, man, blah, 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 don't interrupt me. I would have flipped the fuck out by now. Be like, yo, shut the fuck up. You see my mouth moving? That means yours shouldn't.
Then in this example, you have to use the same framework for that example. Same framework as being agreed upon. So let's say I don't want to be too gross right now. You're with a girl and you want to do something.
I don't want to be too gross. So you're doing something.
You're okay with the thing of saying, okay, well, I can't want to do that. I'll give you 10K.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it works exactly that way, but I think that all men, especially high-value men, are already in a transactional relationship to some regard, and that's not a bad thing. That's natural human nature. And the point I'm trying to make is that if you're a truly high-status male, truly, if you're a billionaire with a yacht and you have 10 girls on that boat, the woman who's in love with you is going to let you fuck 9 other women in front of her because she gets to be on a billionaire's yacht. She gets to go to private islands. She gets to not have to work. She gets to run around on jet skis and take Instagram pictures. So to some degree, are you not paying her for her compliance? To some degree, are you not rewarding her for her being in a situation that she's not completely happy with? That is natural human nature, and all high-status males do.
Okay, as much as I would agree with you. That would be a part of something, right? Part of some sort of fulfillment, right? I would like my partner to be fulfilled in all the ways that I like to be fulfilled in a relationship. If a girl's only with me because she's fulfilled in this money way, but she's lacking on a bunch of other shit, what's the point?
So let's swap the hypothetical. Let's say you're in love with a woman, she comes to you and she decides she wants to do OnlyFans. What do you say?
Okay, so I've had a lot of things about OnlyFans before. A lot.
Bro, answer the question.
I personally just because I think it's just kind of annoying. I wouldn't go into it.
Kind of annoying.
Knowing she's doing it.
So basically, you agree exactly with the discomfort that Tate feels, but you're too much of a bitch to say it because of the parameters of the matrix that you were making fun of before. Got it.
So
right?
So if your girl came to you and said, no, your girl's not already on OnlyFans, you're with a girl and she sees OnlyFans online, she decides she wants to start, she comes to you and says, I want to become an OnlyFans chick. You're going to say, yeah, go for it. Don't give me a penny. Go for it. Get rich. Show your titties. That's going to be your answer?
No, I just say this is kind of annoying. It's an annoying thing. I don't fully.
That's not an answer. He's asking you how you are going to handle the situation. And so you're just going to say, that's annoying, and then she's going to continue? Or you're going to say, that's annoying, and then do something about it?
Agree with it, right? So it'd be kind of cold. It's cold. I don't like it.
Well, this is the point. So I think you're and I understand it's really interesting what Train said earlier about internet language, because when you make a point, you have to be very, very careful with what you say. It's almost like politicians speak. But you're saying it's annoying. I wouldn't like it. Well, I'd say you're not allowed. That's what I'd say. I'd say you're not allowed to be on OnlyFans if you're my girl.
Okay.
If you
okay.
are here.
Okay. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that I don't like it, and if it stays to a point, I guess break up. But that's not like the I don't think it's the main point though. What does that prove? I think it's just lame. It's generally lame.
All right, so the point I'm making here is that it's a situation that most men don't want to find themselves in. They're completely in love with the chick and she decides to do OnlyFans. We're in a hypothetical situation. Saying I'd break up with the chick is a boring answer. So assuming you have to stay with the chick, that's the parameters of the question to make the question interesting to answer. My answer is I need to be paid for her to be doing OnlyFans. That's the answer. In the hypothetical situation, your answer in the hypothetical situation is it's kind of annoying. No, I don't know.
There are parameters for this. Yeah. There's a bunch of parameters around that. It would be like, I hope she's not doing it because of lack of fulfillment in certain ways in our relationship, because that's a fucking problem. I wouldn't want my partner to go to a place that she's craving a part of something she isn't getting in our relationship. As long as the thing takes away from the relationship, right? And the framework remains the same, then I guess it's kind of chilling. But
who thinks? I mean, you guys know X better than I do. I never heard of this motherfucker, but he talks like he's never had a hot girlfriend ever. And I'll point it out when it's like, hey, dude, if you've ever been with a hot girl, you wouldn't be saying things like this. Who thinks he's ever been with a hot girl?
That's kind of how it comes to OnlyFans, because people do it for a lot of reasons and a lot of other ones. So it's kind of.
Do you mind me asking you a question? How old are you?
26.
Okay, let me blow your mind, young man. Women love men they respect. And let me tell you this, and this is natural, this is evolutionary, it's biological. This is why women have certain, even basic things like height, right? They're designed to be attracted to it evolutionarily because they respect larger men because they're more likely to be better at fighting or better warriors. Women fall in love with men they respect. Not even men they like that much, it's men they respect. Men they like are their friends. Men they respect are the ones they fuck. And let me tell you something. If a girl were to come to me and say, I am intent on doing OnlyFans, and I would say, I'm uncomfortable with you doing that, don't be doing it. She says, Andrew, I love you, but I'm going to do OnlyFans no matter what. I would have to put together parameters and a framework in which she still respects me as a man, or we're over. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that you are my woman. I love you, you love me, and you're going to show me enough respect as a man that if you're getting naked on the internet, you're going to at least reward me in some way. There's not going to be all these men paying you money and you making a bunch of money on the fucking side sitting in my house without me getting shit, because that is disrespectful. And I would not allow her to disrespect me, not just because of my ego, but because of her own innate ability to not be attracted to somebody that she doesn't respect. If you were to come along and
this is a good point here about the respect issue, and this is again what I was just kind of referring to about the idea of how women think, and the idea of it not, you have to pay me not because I need the money, but because I need you to respect me. Otherwise, you're not going to like me anymore. Women don't, like he just said, women are friends with the guys they like, and they fuck the guys they respect. So if you want to continue to be the guy that she fucks, then you can't put yourself in a position that she doesn't respect you. And yeah, I mean, the bull rush about him being a top Twitch streamer, you would think. But again, the way that he's talking, maybe. Welcome to the party, Tyler. Glad to see you. Send some pics. Yo. Hit up the Discord. Send some pics.
say things your way. If a chick were to come to you and say, I want to do OnlyFans, you would say, well, I don't like it. It's kind of annoying, and she started doing it, she would fucking leave. The girl is more likely to stay with me taking all her money than she is stay with you keeping all her money. And that
what did I just say? Exactly that aspect. Women need to respect a guy that they're with. If you allow them to do things that even they want to do, that walks all over you, if you sacrifice pieces of yourself in ways that show her that you don't even respect yourself, then she's simply just not going to like you anymore. That is how women operate. It's the same thing as saying if you got a hot girl and she gets fat, you look at her differently, aren't you?
may not make sense to you, but one day you will understand.
Okay.
Now, you know what, Little Toes? I love me some titties, so I will see any pair of titties. There's this girl in one of my Discord servers who, I don't know where this picture came from, but she's got the ugliest titties I've ever seen. But hey, titties are titties.
I'm gonna fight back at you and just say that whatever my relationship is lacking, whatever amount of respect that I'm losing, and whatever amount of privacy that I'm losing, you can't put a price on that. You can't revert that with money. You just can't do it. I want to feel fulfilled. And what fulfills me is that my partner is fulfilled, and we're both on that like equal mindset, right? And you can't exchange that with money in a transactional way. You just
again, this is exactly how guys with at least girls uglier and lower status than they could have think. That I mean, definitely in comparison, but I still want to see him. You know, I mean, I love him. I just want to see him. It's biological.
Doesn't matter the amounts. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make me fulfilled. So if the partner can make up for it, whatever they're doing that they're lacking, and they're kind of like reverting it somehow. So I guess we can find some sort of compromise, right? But it wouldn't be about money or be transactional money wise. It just wouldn't.
Brother, life is transactional, my friend. And to sit here and pretend that because things are transactional means there's no emotions involved isn't true. Life is transactional. If I'm completely head over heels in love with a woman and I love her with all my heart and I'm ready to take a bullet for her, it's still a transactional relationship. She still provides things and I still provide things that satisfy both of us. You do not sit here and stream for free. Life is transactional. So to sit here and pretend that things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. That's not the way the world works. Every single thing in the world is transactional.
Gang.
Even if I give money to charity, even if Train gives this lady who's massaging me $100,000, he's doing that. One, for clout. Two, because he gets to feel good about himself. He isn't. It's not pure charity. He gets to win too.
Did we catch that? He's talking about. Let's even back it up because we actually have good content now instead of just them bickering on bullshit.
Give money and that things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. You do not sit here and stream for free. Life is transactional. So to sit here and pretend that things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. That's not the way the world works. Every single thing in the world is transactional.
Hey, we got Luke Hazley, the smooth cat in the building. Says, I love the Tate brothers, and Andrew Tate is one of the best masculinity examples right now. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't been too familiar with him. I've seen him around, and I've seen that he's been blowing up. And then I saw this, and I just had to talk about it. It was a little messy. I wasn't sure we were going to get here, but we're here. Glad to have you, Lucchese.
Even if I give money to charity, even if Train gives this lady,
So this is what we're talking about. If Train gives this lady
who's massaging me 100,000, he's doing that, one, for clout, two, because he gets to feel good about himself. He isn't. It's not pure charity. He gets to.
So remember, Train earlier said, "Hey, what's her Bitcoin? I'll give her $100,000." Now, again, knowing that he's a top streamer who makes millions a month, that makes a lot more sense. But still, that's still a lot of money. And he just said that out of nowhere. Nobody was talking to him. He wasn't even on the screen. And he said, "Hey, what's her Bitcoin address? I'm going to send her $100,000." And Tate is talking exactly about how life is transactional. It's not all the things that he gets from it. He gets to feel good from it. All of that stuff. Look, says OnlyFans isn't even a good service in my opinion. Haven't tried it out. All it takes is one dude to buy it and download everything and spread it far and wide for free. For the rest, at least cam girls moan your online name. No, you get, from what I understand, you can get the whole girlfriend experience. They have like their main thing, but then in the DMs, it's a whole different thing. But like I said, I don't have any personal experience, so I don't know what to tell you.
Win too.
Actually, wait a second.
Oh,
Wait a second. Wait. No, I gotta say something. It's not for clout. If you look me up, I'm actually hated and everything's justified that I do, but it is the feel good. I get a high from it. The same high I get from gambling, I get from giving. My dick gets hard.
The gambling.
So that's transactional, but it's not for clout. I don't give a fuck about it. Just trust me. Do a little research. It is not the clout part, but it is the high part from feeling good. Continue.
Bro, it's the same with me. There's Romania has an orphanage problem, a lot of orphans. Every single Christmas, I go down to the orphanage with the Rolls Royce, give 100 grand, whatever. Am I the fucking nicest man in the world? Well, yeah, but also I feel good. I feel good for doing it, right? It's like transactional. So the thing shouldn't be transactional is asinine. That's not a right paradigm. You must be transactional sense. The world is transactional.
Yeah, but you're being a little bit obtuse, though. You are deliberately obtuse about what the nature of how we use transactional as a term. You're just saying, oh, it's all transaction. Yeah, of course. Then everything in life, if it goes one way, it comes back another way. That's transactional. So everything is. But that's not how we use the word transactional. That was more of not an indirect. It's more of a direct thing. I'm doing this for that, right? That's how we normally use transactional. The way you're saying is just, there's an exchange of brain chemicals. I'm doing this and I get this brain reward, right? As an exchange. That is obtuse.
Fine. Let me change the way I ask you the question, right? Because what I'm actually, and once again, you're only 26. You are smart. I can see you're smart, but you're 26. So if I were in your position and I had disagreed with everything that Andrew Tate had said, and Andrew Tate was going to come on the stream, first I'd have a list of everything he said. You don't even have a list. So you haven't been very professional about your approach to this. You don't even know most of the things I said. You're just saying this about. It's all very general. So in future, please.
Say that again.
And that's what. Say that again. Make a list of the things that you don't like before. Let's just go on. Because the fact, wait, say that again. Let me take notes. Okay, have an idea of what you're talking about. Got it. Okay, fucking moron.
Sorry about that. I was fucking distracted by bullshit.
Fine. In future, make a list of all my points you disagree with, so we can be more systematic in our approach.
The problem is that you're a digital galloper. You're a professional. You're really good at doing it. Digital galloping, you do dang, and then it's kind of hard to catch up because once we talk about something, it's already too late.
Cool. Well, let me tell you what you're doing, just so you're aware. If I walk into NASA and I say that going to space is too expensive and too dangerous, and they say, well, yeah, I agree with you. And I say, okay, this is bullshit. And they go, well, what's the alternative? And I cannot present an alternative. That does not make me a fucking physicist. That does not make me an astronaut. That makes me a jackass. So if you cannot propose a better alternative, then you have no point to make. And this is the point I'm making with you. The parameters of the question are: you're in love with a woman who decides to do OnlyFans, you can't break up with her. And I've also added another parameter: you want to retain the respect and the authority in the relationship. You think that taking money in said situation is completely unreasonable and unfair. Fine. What is an alternative which is superior? And if you cannot name one, then it's the best of a bad choice. It may be an unfortunate situation, but it's the best move in a bad chess position, and you must still make the best move. If you have a better move to make, I'm open to hear it. But if I'm in love with a woman and I'm not going to break up with her, and she comes with me and she insists on doing OnlyFans, my answer to retain my control and my respect in my relationship is for her to pay me. That is my answer. If you have a better one, my ears are open.
Okay. Like I said, whenever somebody does OnlyFans, it's because there's what does that come from? Like, it can be a lot.
Who cares?
A lot of things of why they would do it.
Not who cares in the sense that we shouldn't care about people who are, doing things for reasons of trauma or whatever. But in the context of this conversation, the reason that she's doing OnlyFans is not relevant to what we're talking about.
Only money or some sort of fulfillment or whatever, right? Some sort of fulfillment, right? If they're doing it because
exactly, Luke Hazley. Luke Hazley hitting the nail on the head. She says, appreciate him because he's unapologetically masculine. He is. Is he crude sometimes? Yes. But he is when he's talking to men. And as men, you should be able. Oh, Marty came to say hello. Hi, I'm Marty. When you're talking to men, you shouldn't need the disclaimer of, well, I'm not talking about all women, and just in my personal experience, you shouldn't need that. You shouldn't need that. You also shouldn't need when Tate in the beginning, and I think it was Train, the other dude was like, oh, where are you from? You also shouldn't need, dear sir, I would just like to inquiry if it is okay with you. You're in a Discord voice channel where it's an open forum. You're just like, oh yeah, where are you from? So, it's definitely on both sides. But yeah, I mean, we can clearly see that even though one of them is a lot more animated, which one is embodying masculinity?
They're lacking something in relationship.
And there's only one of them.
They're taking something away from a relationship. Yeah, that's a fucking problem. I just break up. If I'm that uncomfortable, I'm not going to put a price on that. I'm not going to be fulfilled in something and spend my entire life with somebody and be committed. There's no price you're going to pay me to be deluded that we're at the same level of commitment.
Again, this is what I was talking about with him not understanding the general concepts. It's like, yes, Tate has already said that. He already said, you are the one who made the scenario that if she was going to do OnlyFans. He specifically said, I would just say you're not allowed. He's just playing along with your scenario.
Break up. End of story. No alternative. One alternative, break up. If you're that uncomfortable, I will not put a dollar amount on that. I will fucking break up and move on. And the fact that you can put a price on your lack of commitment, or whatever you think you're like, because they make it OnlyFans.
That's another straw man. Did he say he was putting a price on his discomfort or whatever it was? No. He said it's about respect. But of course, he is not listening. So the most animated people nowadays are the morons anyway. Yeah, for the most part. Absolutely.
The money. It's the principal, chat, right?
Yeah, what he's saying was a hypothetical. He said in a real normal world, it's like, no, we can't. No OnlyFans, we break up. It is what it is. What he's saying, there's no breakup in this scenario. No breakup. What is the alternative of the transaction?
I said break up. That's alternative.
Also hypothetical though.
Also, as he's saying, it's not about the money. It's the principle behind it.
His hypothetical is no, like in a situation where you guys aren't breaking up, and it's just you need some. What are you gonna do instead?
I have hundreds of millions.
I said broke up.
Okay, cool. Okay, well the point is,
this is like when we were talking about the trolley problem, and I was saying, okay, there's one person on the one track, and there's 5 people stuck on the track, and the trolley's coming, and if you don't pull the lever, then all 5 people are gonna die. But if you pull the lever, then you're condemning that one person to death. And someone's going, well, I would try to do like no. That's not what we're talking about. There's specific reason for using analogies in hypothetical situations. And changing the parameters of that situation changes the entire point and changes the entire conversation. How does the number one Twitch streamer not understand this?
I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and if my girlfriend did OnlyFans and made $2, she would pay me my $1. And that's because it's principle. It's not
principle, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, still fair enough. But you can't, in my opinion, that the nature of the behavior of putting a dollar amount because of some lack of.
Luke Hazley, thank you so much for the Cash App. I really, really, really appreciate that. You are the second person, I think, who has sent me one, and I really, genuinely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Everybody put Luke Hazley in the chat.
It's not about the fucking money.
It's an alarming logical conclusion. It's just bad.
What else about me do you find alarming?
No, I'm just saying it's alarming. That's
okay.
It.
What else about my views or things you've heard me say or my attitudes or my life approach?
Oh, my girl can't go out. That's fucking alarming as shit.
My girl can't go out?
Yeah.
Okay, let's discuss this. All right, cool. I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
Cool.
But if my girl were to say I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends. Now, I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a
Nobody's gonna give some Luke Hazley some clout in the chat. Damn, y'all, damn.
relationship and I'm going to have
I appreciate you, Luke Hazley.
responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in the clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. Doesn't make me insecure. Doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway. And that's fine. And then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me. And I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit. And she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure. I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. We'll talk about insecurity when you're sucking dick.
Okay, then according to your mindset and how you see things then, and your high levels of security apparently, right? If your girl was to go to the club, right, and I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
Well, I mean that's fear.
No, it's not fear. What
okay.
is it?
Okay.
He just and again, this is another straw man. He gave you exactly what it was. Even other people are like, no, dude, you're getting it wrong. It's the principle of the situation. Yet you're saying, nope, it's fear. Like, no, you're just wrong about that. No, it's fear by definition.
What is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain. I'm a
guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you why.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual, and I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy. And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy. So I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not
remember the disclaimer that Tate just gave. I don't want you to get all whatever. Get all caught up in the analogy.
Say you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. It's just an analogy. If I go outside, right? Or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it?
That's a good analogy,
I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up with my chick because no one can steal my chick because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people were attempted. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property.
So I think that is a fantastic point. And again, I want you to pay attention to the response and the part of the analogy. Obviously, because I prefaced it, we know that he's going to get mad at the comparing cars to women. But his inability to see the point of the analogy. And when you get people like this, you genuinely have to question, are they that obtuse, to use X's own words? Is he that obtuse? Or is he playing the character exactly as Tate said in the beginning, that he has to, parameters of the matrix, and you gotta, those who benefit from the parameters of any system will fight to uphold them. Is that what's going on? Or is he that fucking dumb?
That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off with someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did. If most of the girls that I dated or I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything, and just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you could. You would have this experience. If Moses did, were 0 IQ, brain frozen. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the real world because you don't park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. It's not fucking. It's not the danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right?
So again, the question is he that dumb that he didn't get the point of the analogy? Or did something in his leftist brain say, ooh, I saw a man compare, or I heard a man compare women to cars. Let me go into Sabaho mode. So I really don't know. I really don't know. You don't get to be the #1 Twitch streamer by, just, being a moron. Maybe. Luke says he's that dumb. He knows better than I do. But it's like, clearly you've never valued a woman the way that people in general can value a car. That doesn't mean that it's the only thing you like about that woman, but the aesthetic and the status that comes with it is a part of what you can like about somebody. And there's nothing wrong with that. But X is trying to say that that it is. Oh, Casey jumping in and saying he is that dumb. He's been drinking too much to say that has too much soy. That's made as emotional as a woman. Burn.
Oh, that smarts is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting. But you also have to understand, because we are different individuals living very different lives. And I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them, because I don't know them. But you have to understand that.
That's an important thing too. That's an important point. He's not saying you need to do this. Men should, and I mean, I know that he does in general, but we're talking about in this specific conversation. He's not saying men need to do this. You should be doing that. He's saying this is what I do. And if you don't like it, you can leave. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track, and live a life of spoiled princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, and I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again, because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise, because you are young. Women...
Is he that intelligent, though?
Are malleable. And when I say they're malleable, people think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures, and they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes. The same
anybody's in that regard. Everybody's malleable in that regard. The people that they're with, people that are around, people are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
correct. So we're malleable. So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because
bam!
Women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration. If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do, that's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever, because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that you get.
You treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess I have to concede the point, because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos. Saying to a woman,
that is what you compare. That is your example. You compare the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating. And you are right. I'm sorry, it's not an insult. You made this precedence. I have to use it.
Yeah,
I will take any woman.
It's precedent with a T. And he specifically told you to chill the fuck out and not get caught up in the analogy. So what did you do?
I could date any woman. I don't know who your girlfriends are. I don't know. Any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. That's because of who I am. The woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, etc., 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 that is heavily dependent on the man she's with.
So what makes you a buffer then? The money, the status, the top G. What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, then what makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club? If you're
I am responsible for her, and I have authority.
Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
Maybe if you let him talk, you'll fucking understand. Jesus Christ.
Responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now, before
how do you know that? All the girls. There's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's because I know you're trying to go down the sexist argument. Let's reverse it.
Well, I mean, you bait it. Okay, listen. You have driven this conversation since the beginning. I gave you I gave you the initial roots argument or point, and you are driving yourself there.
Cool.
And so you are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
Do we think that's really what's been going on? You've been watching it with me. Has Tate been driving the conversation? Or has he merely been responding to the bullshit that X has been spewing?
I said, what makes you above her? And you're not getting an answer.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So what is your responsibility?
Okay, because you can't share responsibility because nothing in life is 50-50. There's always, even if it's 49%, 51%.
Okay, then why you?
Me, because I'm me. This is the exact point. Now let's reverse it, which I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds. There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do, and she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss. That is happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics.
And this is how I know. I don't know, but I know that this X dude has never really been with a hot girl for any meaningful amount of time. Because this is, I'm happy to admit that before I got into red pill content, manosphere content, stuff like that, that I thank you exactly that I was super just plugged in beta all the way. Didn't understand that I was like, hey, I always have my phone by me. You know, I respond to text right away just because play games and whatever. Little things like that. Like you wouldn't say, well, what's wrong with just texting right back all the time? If you understood how women see that. And he wouldn't be saying what he's saying now if he understood how relationships work. Even if he was that beta in the relationship, then he would know that he was that guy who was having his girlfriends mother him. And again, I'm not afraid to admit it. I got mommy issues. I had to realize that's what I was seeking in my relationships. I would say not even on Andrew Tate's level. I would say Andrew Tate's leftovers. I would say that's far above what X has ever gotten. And we were saying, you know, apparently being the #1 Twitch streamer, I'm sure you could bang a hot girl, sure. But that's very different than being in any type of extended relationship. Even if it's not like boyfriend, girlfriend, even if it's not intent to marry, there's still very different. That's still very different contexts. Crazy.
Someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships, and I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her.
But
Carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right? Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes over right now. The door opens behind you. We see a little glint of light right behind you right now, and he says, "Hey, Tate, get the fuck off the computer, drinking this bullshit with this stupid cigar, talking to that fucking girl on your computer," right? That could happen, right? According to you, no, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't happen. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you said some girl being multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men. They should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked. A man can try on with them and lose his temper. They can get attacked. Whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion, female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat him. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc. Trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man. I have certain domains in which I rule.
Okay, then. So
I want to bring up Kluke's comment here. It says, I could bang a hot girl with enough cash, but keeping them when they have every other option? Hell no. And I'm not, I'm inserting myself as if I were writing this. I would say I'm clearly aware that the Andrew Tate level girls don't have any interest in a guy like me. This is not, you know, necessarily super attractive to girls. And I'm okay with that. I'll get in the gym on my own time. But I'm no longer out there trying to get Andrew Tate level women, thinking, oh, I'm a good guy. I'll treat her right. And expecting that to be enough. I was at one point. But that's not how the world works. And it took me way, way too long to learn that. But eventually, I did.
In this line of argument, with the things that you just said, I'm going to go one by one. So I have to be selective about how I'm doing this. Okay. What you're saying, since you brought up the fact that you can get spiked, is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavily in your.
Why? Why would anybody spike his drink? Are they trying to take him out of the club and fuck him? Do they think there's not people who are going to notice that? That is not a realistic analogy.
You drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about that. It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club or the woman couldn't protect me, it's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety.
So she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks? Send your girl to the club.
What? Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
Oh, a team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative. Enjoy.
He was like, hey, whoa. Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks? He was being charitable to you. He was being charitable to you. Your head's too far up your own ass to have any idea what's going on right in front of your face.
A long relationship.
Yo.
Well, my relationship will be long and fulfilling. I can't say the same to when you treat people like this. I mean,
saying that you don't go to the club without me, we'll go together? Oh, I'm the worst man in the world. Oh, no, don't take your girl to the VIP table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes. I'll tell you what, bro. 87 professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect your chick. Send her to the club with me.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there, okay? If you just drink that spiked, you're dropping.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is about the respect that she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility over her and the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that. Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison. I'm about to make another comparison that you can use my analogies against me. You said
that was I do need to women test men to see what they're capable of. This is also something I didn't understand. And I'm generally a non-confrontational person. As much as it might seem like I'm ready to go all the time. Like, I get in my zone here. But I'm genuinely and generally not a confrontational person. I will take on any conflict that comes my way if I need to. But I don't remember what I was going to say. The idea that the women need to go to clubs to be happy, again, shows that so you've never been with a woman who has no desire to go to the club because she's with you. And I mean, yep, right from the smooth cat's mouth. And again, I didn't know. So when you don't know, and she's asking to go to the club to see if you're, how you're going to react, you're like, sure, sweetie, you have a good time. How do you think she's going to take that? She's like, this motherfucker, I don't even care. Like, there's a whole establishment built for the purpose of me getting my back blown out, and you're just sending me off there. You either don't care or you don't understand. And it's very clear that you care. You just don't understand.
Well, I have no other material. You said attack. You said approach me by going one-to-one and going with specifics. What else is there than the things that you're feeding me that I can use? Am I supposed to speak in fucking hieroglyphs or some shit? What am I supposed to do? I have to.
Completely.
You got to earn that level of sarcasm in a debate, my guy, and you have not done so. I am sorry, but you need to earn that level of sarcasm.
So I compared women to cars, so that makes me a bad man. I'm about to compare women to children. Oh no, I'm a really bad man. So let's do the same thing, right? So when you have a child, let's say you have a 6 or 7 year old kid, they push the boundaries. They try and see what they get away with until eventually you come and say, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you leave a child completely unchecked, they're going to do a bunch of crazy shit, right? There has to be a point they come up against the wall with a parent saying, no, I'm older than you, I'm more responsible than you, I'm wiser than you, I know things you don't know. Do not stick your fingers in the plug socket. That's part of being an adult. It's part of being a parent. It's the same thing being a man for a woman. If you're a man with a woman, you're likely older. A lot older, so you're wiser by default. You're probably, if you're a successful man, more successful than her. You've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen more violence than she has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're very, very qualified to come along and say.
Why do you intend that you're probably more successful than she is?
Because you're likely older. I mean, I don't.
Again, why would you assume that she's more successful? Because that's why she's with you, bruh. That's why she's with you. Maybe not the only reason, but if you didn't have that money, she wouldn't fucking be there.
No, there's not many 18-year-old girls who are going to be more successful than a 35-year-old man. Maybe. But
why
even
dating somebody a little younger?
Okay, 25-year-old. Doesn't matter. Men date younger women on average because young women like older men on average.
That's
and they
true.
like that because
That
they
is
respect
true.
older men because they respect the authority.
Again, is this news? Is this news?
I don't think any of the things I'm saying here are largely contested. I think
Yeah.
everyone agrees that women like.
I mean, not only are they largely contested, they are mostly contested. I think most people disagree with you.
They're mostly contested. That women do not like older men. Okay. Casey says it takes a confident man to say no, and this is why. Thank goodness I am married to a man that believes in traditional marriage. Congratulations. And yeah, that's, you know, it's rough out in these streets, occasionally. It's rough out here. And this is this is the ends of the spectrum. This is what women think of men, and I can't blame them too much. I mean, Jesus.
On this, I mean, most rational beings, except the people that are completely delusional or off the tracks, unhinged. The problem that you think is that you're saying that men, it's impossible for them to be pushed into the right directions or help like children from women. The girls can't come in and say, "Stop doing this, hey, stop doing that." They can't do that to you or any other guys because they're women. Which what the fuck is this?
Right, but what you don't understand in the context of what he's saying is that if there was a situation where a girl had an issue, then she wouldn't go and demand whatever from him. But that doesn't mean that she's not able to have a conversation with him. The same way that if you talk to your parents, they still make the final, when you were a kid, they still make the final decision on whether you're going to the sleepover or whatever. But you can still have the conversation. That doesn't mean they're not in charge.
That's just so illogical.
Some men need women to guide them. That's fine. I'm not one of those men.
Also, now some. Earlier it was all, now it's some. We're going down the list now. We're trying to.
It was never all. I gave a scenario in which many men are mothered by their girlfriends, and I said in said scenario the woman has authority and responsibility, and she can prevent him from going to the club. And then I also said in every single relationship somebody has responsibility and authority, nothing is 50-50. And then I also said for the same reason I would not allow someone to break into my car no matter how good the locks are, I will not put my woman in a scenario where people are going to try and take her from me.
This is how you debate.
Because I find it disrespectful. She shouldn't want to be there. That's what I said. That's all the things I said. Now, if you have a relationship in which you want your girl to go out to the club as much as she wants, that's your prerogative. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. I will tell you it's going to end badly for you.
That's a huge point. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. Now, again, we know that Tate has content outside of this conversation, but for the purposes of this conversation, he hasn't prescribed anything. He's just described his own life. Because it's like guys like this. It's guys like this. It's take 3. It's guys like this one that make it harder for traditional men to find good women. The simping is outrageous. Yep. And I was never a simp in the sense of like paying, cam girls or anything like that. But I definitely was a loser who would fawn all over girls, and didn't really work out very well. Let's put it that way. Free Ego's in the building. What is up, brother? Says, gotta get myself a foreign girlfriend because I sure as shit don't know any women around my age with traditional values. Well, the girls your age are not looking for guys your age. The girls your age are looking for guys my age. The girls my age are looking for guys Tate's age. So you got to age up. You got once you're something, but it's just a waiting game. And we all been there, brother. Doesn't mean you can't, do your thing, but
you may disagree with me, but it will. If you keep letting your girl go to the club, it's going to end badly. Not just because she's going to get stolen, but because she's not going to respect you as a man. She's going to say, this man lets me go out and get drunk with other men every fucking night. What kind of dude do I have?
That is your definition of what the respect she owes you is, not the definition of what the relationships overall. That's how that transaction goes. Like, I think this is. I mean, you're being obtuse. The problem with this is that you're being obtuse about it, right?
Oh, he's being obtuse. Isn't that ironic? We've got projection. That's so, that's another thing that you see from people like this. You just exactly what they are thinking and feeling, they'll accuse you of it. You're being obtuse. No, he's being very direct and very concise. X is the one being obtuse.
Relationship, you have to be, why in your relationship?
That's why, look at him. That's why he's laughing. Oh, I'm being obtuse.
In the first place, why are you with a girl, right? because you want to, because you want to be fulfilled. You want to have a relationship, and you want to feel like you're in something, right? You're committed. Why do you date? Tell us. Why do you date?
Absolutely, for the same reason everybody dates. For fulfillment.
Okay. So
wow, so he did actually ask a question instead of just assuming.
a lot of points.
Credit where credit is due.
Like a polygon. A lot of things make you fulfilled. Like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. It makes a nice polygon, right?
Correct.
Right? So in my
Fucking geek. Polygon. Nice polygon.
opinion, this is what the foundation of what the relationship is. For me to be fully fulfilled, I want the person I'm with, my partner, to that one of the prerequisite is that they're fulfilled in all these ways. These things to match, for me to match. It's almost like if she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled, and we are together like that, right?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that what fulfills a person, they have to sacrifice and lose out on some of these points for you to feel fulfilled.
Yes. Yes. And I think from what I remember that he's kind of about to go into this. But yes, being in a relationship is sacrificing certain things to get other things. That's how life works. I think he is actually going to go into it. But it's like, you're not fucking other girls. If you're in a monogamous relationship, is that not a sacrifice? If you're the #1 Twitch streamer, you're banging all these hot chicks, that's not a sacrifice?
How does it make any sense whatsoever? That is completely and utterly illogical, because then they have to make compromises and sacrifices that overall will lack fulfillment and will make you feel less fulfilled, and you will end up with a raw loss overall in this exchange.
I'm gonna let y'all finish this conversation, but I just want to say I got to dip. Got to flight catch. I'm on y'all. Appreciate you. It's Los.
See you, man. Take care, man.
Appreciate you.
You understand?
Real quick though, this, not necessarily this particular conversation, but this style where there's a bunch of us just hanging out and like, oh, I gotta go, but and the party rages on. That's what I want for our Discord, for the Indian Jesus Discord. So join and let's fucking have some fun.
I understand your argument. Your argument is that if the woman has to make compromises to be with me, she's not completely fulfilled, which will stop me being completely fulfilled.
How obtuse of him. Who remembers what exactly? Who remembers what we were talking about the logical fallacies yesterday or 2 days ago? Who knows what not fallacy, the opposite of what Tate just did would be a fallacy, and what Tate just did has a name relevant to that fallacy. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And yeah, exactly. You sacrifice mutually. That's all relationships. 100%.
Yeah. I like that you're listening a lot. I like that. Thank you.
But you make compromises to be with her. You don't fuck other women. You do that.
That is not okay. When you talk about the framework of a good, stable, committed relationship, okay, fucking other girls is not a compromise. It's pre-intended.
Going to the club with a bunch of dudes is pre-intended. It's all about the parameters you set. If you're going to sit here and say that I don't want her to have to change a single thing about her life,
so he's trying to make the argument. X is trying to make the argument that this is how relationships are. This one way is how relationships are. And even if you're a traditional person, even traditional relationships, the relationships themselves, the dynamics between the people are different. That's again why I feel like X is speaking from the outside. He's not speaking from a place of authority. Hey, free ego, got it. Yes, he steelmanned his position. Let's go back and watch that. Let's watch him steelman X's position.
Other girl.
I understand your argument. Your argument is that if the woman has to make compromises to be with me, she's not completely fulfilled, which will stop me being completely fulfilled.
That is how you steelman an argument. You show that you are competent. You show that you are listening. You're showing that you understand and that there's not a miscommunication. You're saying this, and this. Remember, the opposite was the Jordan Peterson, Kathy Newman interview. So what you're saying is the complete opposite of what you just said. It's like, no. What he just did was steelman the argument. So now he cannot be accused of being obtuse or misunderstanding or whatever. He just read his argument back to him, almost as if he was literally reading it.
Yeah. I like that you're listening a lot. I like that. Thank you.
But you make compromises to be with her. You don't fuck other women. You do that.
That is not okay. When you talk about the framework of a good, stable, committed relationship, okay, fucking other girls is not a compromise. It's pre-intended.
Going to the club with a bunch of dudes is pre-intended. It's all about the parameters you set. If you're going to sit here and say that I don't want her to have to change a single thing about her life because of
the difference,
then you shouldn't have to change anything about your life.
Agreed, Andrew. That would be the perspective. As if I felt like I'm losing something by her going to the club. As if I don't. Why? Because she doesn't get anything.
If I felt like I was losing something, if I felt like I was losing something. He doesn't feel like he's losing anything, so he's not losing anything. He's not losing any respect. He's not losing any. He's not losing anything because he feels like it.
Out of going to the club in those ways, that takes away from our relationships because I'm number one. You can't replace me. They see me as the perfect fit. They love me, right? I don't lose anything by then going to see number 2s and 3s and 50s and 100s. They have the best at home. I don't lose shit. You intend that when your girls go to the club, you're scared that they're gonna lose something. The other people around at the club are better than you because you're not number 1 in their heart. You're number 3, and they might get number 2 over there or number 1, and you're scared of that. Why are you scared of that? I don't get that. Makes no sense at all.
We've already discussed the fear argument. We've already discussed about the fact that no matter how good
it's so childish. It's so childish because I mean, is anybody here on X's side? Is anybody here on X's side?
the locks are, I wouldn't put it in a high crime area. We've already discussed this. I understand you're trying to use the fact that trying to paint me as insecure and fearful.
No,
that's incorrect.
Like I said, use
you're coming from a place of fear. I know you're trying to paint me as fearful. No. Jesus Christ.
I want you to dissect my argument. Sorry to cut you off. You're good at doing me cut you off. Okay, I want you to dissect what I said, right? At the beginning or in the middle. And I want you to just counter argue it. Yeah, what I'm saying is that I don't make a sacrifice in that relationship by, I want to fuck other girls. Bro, I want to fuck that one girl. I don't lose out on the other girls. I don't want these girls. I want that one. She's the number one. I'm number one. I don't lose out and make a compromise that, oh no, I can't fuck other girls that I like less and love less. Otherwise, I would date these girls or that girl. I'm not losing on that potential. The same way she doesn't lose on. Does that make sense? It's logical.
Not really, but let me blow your mind. Let's change the quick trajectory. Let me blow your mind. If your woman was truly fulfilled by you and she truly loved you, she wouldn't give a fuck about club. She wouldn't even want to go.
Oh God,
that's the truth. I don't have to argue with my women about going to.
Nah, that's not true, bro.
Then she's not allowed to go to the bowling alley then.
They will come to me. They'll come to me and say, "Can I go to the club with all my friends?" And say, "Not without me." She'll say, "Okay, baby," and that's it. It's really not an argument. It's not hard because she's fulfilled in other ways. Now, if she didn't respect me and she wasn't fulfilled in other ways, then of course she'd argue. Then that club would become important. But to her,
then can you? Okay, I understand. Then can she go to laser tag?
Sure, she can go laser tag. I don't give a fuck. It's no problem. But it's not the scenario.
What if she sees an absolute lion Chad way more than at the club, some big, tough, muscular guy that looks better than you, and is more like, then what?
Good, then fine.
Then you park your Lambo in the hood, and your Lambo it's getting taken.
To be accurate with his analogy, that would be the difference between parking the Lambo at the club and as an analogy for or excuse me, an analogy for going to the club as parking your Lambo in a bad neighborhood. The correct analogy here would be that it's still a Lambo, but you're just parking it in a strip mall. That's not necessarily in a bad neighborhood. It's just not somewhere you can watch over it. Yeah, something bad can happen, but like that's not the point. He's just missed the point. Yep.
You say good. So the club is parked there. That parking is good.
Will Toast, the last the point that X is trying to make after Tate said that if your woman is fulfilled, she won't care about the club. And then X is like, so can she go to laser tag? He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about laser tag. He's like, well, what about the super Giga Chad is there and da-da-da-da-da. Bro, you're missing the point. Casey says, X is the guy that would go out to the club with his girl and his girl will leave him the second Andrew asks her to come to his crib. Exactly. That's exactly why he's coming from this position, because projection, he is the one who cannot fathom being in that situation and not being fearful. So he's projecting that fear onto Tate. This is how losers think.
Because laser tag is not invented for people to fuck. The only reason clubs even exist. The only reason clubs even exist, and I'll tell you why, the basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females. Yes. If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground. She can go Walmart, but she ain't going to go to a place which is specifically designed and set up for her to get intoxicated and famous. And not because I think she will get famous, because she is too respectful for me, too respectful of me to go to a scenario in which she would be seen. Even, listen, bro, you may disagree with me. I'll tell you something.
Well, like I said, your argument falls on its face because, I mean, my
How does that fall flat on its face? How does that fall flat on its face? Remember, again, we often talk about just saying things. You can't just say things. You have to back them up. You can't just make a claim. You have to back it up. How does the argument fall on its face? Every argument that X has made, Tate has been able to clearly poke through the logic. All that X has done is just claim that he's garbage.
Women
and fearful.
My woman, mine. She obeys me, right? She has friends and feels fulfilled at doing social activities, and her friends all want to go to the club. It's some girl's birthday, and yes, she's single. That one is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable prey. Okay, that girl. Okay, but they're all going to the club together, right? My girl can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't. She can't.
Why am I not invited? If that's my girl, and that's your best friend, why am I not invited? And if it's a girls' night out, then we already know why I'm not invited, because
that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right? Dude, so many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fucked out of them. So how does that make sense?
God.
It's your prerogative what you want to do inside of your own relationship. I won't explain.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
Sure, I will explain again.
He's literally, he will just argue anything. He said it's your prerogative what you do with your relationship. It's not a prerogative. Yeah, dude. It is your prerogative.
No problem. If firstly you just gave a very particular scenario. So right
no,
now
that's important, because if you say all, then it has to be all the statistics.
Say my girl
all means.
When I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? It means she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen.
No, Lil Toes, being a hoe makes you filled.
But then why do you say all then? If you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do that, when you're vocal about your mindset, that irritates me a little bit, right? Not
you and you alone, X. You and you alone. That's what you don't seem to get here. He's the only one that's bothered by this. Not the only one, but people like him are the only ones. Normal people understand exactly the context in which he's talking about this stuff. And again, I don't know every detail about Tate's life. I've heard some shady shit about what he did with his cam girls. I don't know the details. But he's said nothing in this stream that has, been that outside the box or obtuse.
Not personally, but just overall hearing that, is that when you say alls, right, and you're very, very hard about that when you're alone on camera, right, and you don't get interviewed or can't argue, it's a monologue, not a dialogue. You say all, I'm not just a line, all. But when you come here and we talk about it, you say, but this scenario, but this one, but that one. How does that make sense, bro?
Because there are scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean she does not on the weekends be out clubbing. She does not message me, I'm at the club tonight, see you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once if her friend had a birthday, maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things. And I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove it using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios. I'm sitting here saying people are born with two eyes. And you're saying, no, some people are born with one eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say someone, how many eyes does someone have? You say two. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say two, and you're going to run along and go, I know someone with one eye. That does not make me fucking wrong. So,
and this is every woman I've ever argued with. I mean, we all know the sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. It all comes out. He's just talking about nonsense because he knows there's no way out of this. So he's just trying to pick at something that he can bring back to his following and just virtue signal.
You're just trying to use exceptions to disprove rules, and it doesn't work that way.
Damn, he's good.
Any woman who's with me, by in general, if you were to ask her, does she go clubbing? The answer would be no. I'm Andrew's girl. I don't go to clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up? Yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to. I don't have to stop her.
Okay.
No.
This is an understatement, but understatements, literally. You can literally win bike races backwards with how fucking hard you're backpedaling. It's insane the way that you revert your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them the way you do.
What argument did he backpedal? I think it gave clarity on the fact that my girls don't want to go to the club, but there's specific instances, just like there's specific instances where people have one eye, but I don't go around saying that people have one eye. If somebody asks me how many eyes, I say two eyes. Right over his head. So Luke Hazley says, by the way, those cam girls are there on their own free will. Apparently, he makes it clear what is going to happen before they decide to work for him. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I definitely have heard. I was saying before, I heard that there was some shady shit with it, but I'd never gotten any evidence. And I was saying that you would think that, you know, they would be involved in trafficking or something, but you would also expect that an operation like that would unjustly get that kind of you know, label and that kind of energy pushed their way. So I just personally don't know. You know, I don't expect that if he was doing shady shit that he would be out about it. And but you know, innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. Lil Toes says, every time I argue with girls, it ends up with them calling me tic tac dick. That might be a problem I don't know how to help you with, brother.
I've never seen that before, man. I don't know how I can even justify this. You say never go clubbing, and then there's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen most of the time.
Should I ask you about guy best friend?
That we went out clubbing, it was for a reason. It had a reason behind it. It had something behind it, right? That wasn't, I'm gonna go out to see some other options and start fucking, right?
Here's another point. He's not backpedaling. Tate's not backpedaling, but he is conceding ground in saying that my girls don't go to the club. And then he's clarifying what he means by that. But he is conceding ground on the you know, that whole thing. So instead of getting the W, he's trying to get him to admit that he's got him in a corner or whatever. When he doesn't, you got a small win, and you're trying to act like you won the battle instead of just taking the win.
There's so many ways and reasons why it's going to the club,
bro. Like,
it's a social gathering. There's a lot of people.
Sure.
It's fun. It's energetic. End of story.
Sure. Well, if I had to make a binary decision, if we were to come along and say that no exceptions at all are allowed, either she's allowed to go to the club whenever she wants and go to all those birthdays, or never go to the club and miss all those birthdays, and she would never go to the club and she would never go to a single fucking birthday, and she would not complain. My women do not want to go to the club without me. This is being discussed as if I have to stop them. It's just, these are the parameters for being with me. You don't go to the club without me. Got it. Cool. Done. It's not a big deal.
All right, yo, X and Tate, listen, can we get to this next topic, the whole having a girl having a guy best friend?
I mean, that one's, I mean, if you disagree with the girl having visual or aura contact with other male beings that are in the vicinity, clearly she cannot have a best friend. I mean, a friend, an acquaintance, bitch, but a sight of fucking real life men pixel is a fucking breach that takes fucking insecurities. I don't know. I don't think
I'm not insecure territorial.
That is insecurity. By definition, not allowing the girl to be around the sight of other men is insecurity.
I think
it's not. That's not what the insecurity means. So you might think, and you might want to argue that it is insecurity, but you can't say by definition when you're not going by the goddamn definition.
I think you meant in a club scenery, but I'm just gonna ask Andrew: can your girlfriend have a guy best friend?
No,
I don't think either.
Holy fuck!
So what do you guys think in the comments? What do you guys think? Chat, let me know.
You don't think that you're so do we agree on this, that your woman should not have a male best friend?
Well, a best friend means, for me, a best friend is somebody you spend most of your time with. I'm spending most of my time with them, right? Otherwise, there's a lack somewhere that they're making up by doing other shit. Having friends is cool, right? They're gonna spend most of their time with somebody else because they're lacking some sort of social contact. That's a problem in itself. That is lack of fulfillment on one end, which translates to lack of fulfillment on both ends. That's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think a woman should. I think that. Well, first you have to understand the paradigm. Do you think men and women can even be friends?
Ooh, yeah, that's what earlier.
That is like super case by case. I think that's super hard.
I agree with that.
Like really case by case.
I also agree with that. I think in general the answer is no, but of course there's exceptions to the rule that men and women cannot be friends. Bull Rush said, yeah. I mean, Bull Rush agrees. Can't be friends. And Lil Toes says, yeah, only sisters are relatives, and those are not friends; those are relatives. But you know, I think it's very clear that in this day and age, especially with the, you know, even 15 years ago, it was different. People were more respectful of relationships. I think 15 years ago, men and women probably could be friends. Like under, let's say we're talking about the 18 to 35. People who were 18 to 35 in the 90s. I think they could have been that could have existed then. Hey, we got Darshawn McAway, aka D Mac, in the building. What is up, brother? He says he's friends with a few women, and he is married. So, like I said, case by case. I definitely agree with that. Lucchese says, nah, if a woman is in a relationship, having a male best friend is disrespectful to the husband/boyfriend. Yeah, I mean, the idea of I kind of hate how X is going to, well, it depends on what you mean by best friend. But that is kind of a good point. Hey, we got Eek in the building. Welcome, brother. I think it's the first time you're here. Welcome to the party. I am Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. And today we're just going through the Tate and XQC debate. What did he say? He didn't actually mean by definition. I think Andrew Tate, with the vast word knowledge he has, knows X isn't that dumb. Well, I don't. I mean, he's only going by, I personally I don't know either gentleman very well at all. So I'm just going based on the conversation. I have seen clips of Tate elsewhere, but I don't know much about him other than the fact that he was a kickboxer and he used to have cam girls. I knew that before coming in. Other than that, I just know he's some red pill dude that gets a lot of flack from feminist types. But welcome.
It depends. See, it always depends on the nature of that relationship in the first place. I think they can be friends if things are.
Slow clap for free go. Good one.
Clear from the get go. You just gotta know, right? But you have to be very, very rational about it, though.
Do you think that in 99% of scenarios, when man's friends with a chick, you'd like to sleep with her if you could?
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be the all or most against. It's gonna be like the all against most take or all against whatever fucking take. We're gonna go down again like last time. Whatever. Let's say I can use a close example. Okay. This girl does projects for Twitch events or fucking stream events. His name is Cutie. Okay. Just an example. Okay. I started a bunch of events. We work on projects together, I guess. Right. I never fuck her.
Yeah, that's acquaintance. That's work. We're talking about friendship.
Well, I mean, she's still a friend, though.
If she's an acquaintance, she's someone you work with, someone you know. I wouldn't call him a friend.
So it's not mutually exclusive.
Well, yeah, it's hard to draw the line. But my point is that I don't think that when a woman and a man are purely just friends without, let's say, a financial...
Yo, shout out other debate topics, y'all have.
Just friends. I don't think that's a platonic relationship. I think the man is interested in her most of the time. And when people disagree with you, I say, then why do all the hot girls have so many friends and all the ugly girls don't have any? The men are trying to get laid. And for her to sit there and entertain it and pretend that's not the case. Oh, no, he's just my friend. She knows what's going on. It's bullshit.
Just letting you know, there's only about half hour left in the video itself. And then, of course, it is panel time. You only me up here alone.
Sorry to interrupt. Someone asked,
because you can reverse that.
What? Somebody had asked X if would you be okay if your girlfriend was best friends with Andrew Tate?
Well, I don't know any of my friends with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is a fucking moron. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you though? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
No.
You're a famous Twitcher, bro. We could get a lot of pay-per-views on a boxing match anytime.
Bro. These sticks I got, these are sticks. I can't fight with that. Bro, I did one tap. I'm still not scared saying that. It's like I don't know. It's like it's not comparable. Like I said, best, biggest fucking UFC fighter, Colossus, fucking 7-foot Andy. I mean, he's gonna clap you too. It's all a matter of skill.
Being obtuse. It was an obvious joke. He's not actually. What? Do you think that man would have any reason? I mean, I guess he's the #1 Twitch streamer, so let me shut up. He is right. Mad pay-per-views.
Of course. Well, this is my point. The point is that I don't think that most male...
I'd watch it.
Female friendships are truly and utterly completely platonic. I think if any woman's honest, she'll admit that too. And for the same reason I discussed earlier, when I wouldn't let someone attempt to break into my Lambo, I would not let some man come along under the shield, under the guise of friend. I'm not gonna let some dude come along, put on a friend hat, and try on with my chick permanently. That's bullshit.
Guys, I'm 3 likes short of 15. If anybody here hasn't, I would absolutely love if you can get me to 15 likes.
And she shouldn't want that either.
Thank you.
Or she should say, this guy obviously wants more. I'm not talking to him. Or I'll talk to him only at work for X event. That's it. And I know these views for some reason. I don't know why these views are extreme. Because
these are not. The rest of them are kind of extreme. They are legitimately. That one is not too extreme because yeah, a lot of people have these intentions that are preemptive, and when you see somebody that's like attractive or whatever, yeah, they'll be friends trying to snake their way in or whatever. But
Would your mother hang around with some dude behind your father's back and say he's her friend?
Would your mother say that again?
Would your mother hang around with some dude behind your father's back and say he's just my
not
friend?
a complicated
would your father
question.
tolerate that?
They're not together, divorced.
Okay. But I'm talking about a different generation, right? Let's imagine people married 40, 50 years ago. Was it normal? Was it normal then for chicks to be hanging around with a bunch of dudes and saying he's just my friend only 34 years ago? Or is this all new thing?
A friend, it depends what kind of activities you do. I mean, dude.
Nah, bro, he's right.
You got friends doing a bunch of shit. Like they can go fucking. Maybe they like playing golf together. Maybe they like.
It's new think, my friend. And what you must understand is that the things I'm talking about were perfectly normal and completely and utterly accepted.
Oh, you're one of these guys. Okay, so
Don't ever say that in a debate. Don't ever, ever, ever say that in a debate. What does that mean? Oh, you're one of these guys. What is these guys? How is that useful in learning more about what it is that we're talking about? Who can call out that logical fallacy?
These guys, it's about accepting that society has changed and that new think is untested. And when you look at untested think, because that's what it is, it's untested by the definition of being new in and of itself. It's untested.
Yo, Chad, how long is he getting a massage for, bro?
We had relationships for a very, very long time, thousands of years. Where when
Did you hear the dude? He's like, how long is he getting a massage for? The stream itself has been going for 2 hours, but well, let's see when she showed up. She showed up on cam with him at 49 minutes, and we're now an hour. So it's an hour massage. You're bugging out. Got a comment here from Darshan McAway says, now let me be clear. The women who are my friends, I don't hang out with alone. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And under the idea that it's not like you can't have a common platonic relationship, but it's disrespectful, as Luke Hazley was saying earlier. I think she was talking about the club. No, she was talking about this exact thing. Saying if a woman is in a relationship, and of course, goes both ways. If a man is in a relationship, having a female best friend is disrespectful to the girlfriend or wife. And I don't even think, I think even when you take into account the whole men and women are different, even if you're into if you're in a high value situation and there's options and whatever, that's still, if you're fucking other girls and your girl is cool with that, that's one thing. But being a best friend, that's different. I mean, maybe we got to ask, Dr. Evil Genius about this. He's the only person I know who is with two people. They just celebrated 10 years together. So congrats to them. Frigo says, I'd say it's certainly not polite to be around someone alone for an extended period of time if they're in a relationship. Absolutely. But according to X, this is backpedaling. This argument falls on its face. This is obtuse.
Was with a man, she only spoke to that man. And most of the world today, still that is the case. You may live in America, but if you go to Africa or any of the Middle East or Asia or even Europe, Eastern Europe, Russia, any of these places, if you think these chicks have male friends, then you don't understand the world very well.
Take it a piss. America, keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna reverse and say, in the age of Mesopotamia or some shit, right? Girls had friends and shit, then so with other guys. Yeah, things change. It doesn't devalidate them as untested. A lot of things were untested previously. Like, how does that prove anything?
You almost had it, bro. You almost had it. There's a lot of things that were untested, like women getting the right to vote. That worked out, didn't it? Well, but I mean, in his framework, it definitely did. But, and I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm just, off the top of my head, a silly example of untested things. Anything that's new is untested. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. That is the correct argument. And he was almost there. But he literally stopped at the very last word. The very last word that could have saved him.
Like, was that new equals bad thing? Like, well, I don't know what that is.
New doesn't equal bad. New equals untested, which means you don't know. Nobody knows how this new societal paradigm is going to play out. I can only talk from my personal experience. And my personal experience is that when a woman has a bunch of male friends and a boyfriend, the relationship doesn't last very long. That's my personal.
And now he's lost it. If he had just given one example of some new thing in the history of humanity that worked out well, he would have had a point. I mean, he still would have lost the debate, but at this point, whatever the dude can get.
Experience. I've seen it happen 1,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, if you date some girl who's unfulfilled of you so much that she's willing to give other guys a chance to keep an open mind about who they're going to date and who they're with, that they're going to do that with people that they meet randomly.
But if she's fulfilled, she wouldn't have male friends. You're pretending that a girl can be fulfilled.
That's not true. That's not true.
What if she already had a friend before you, like years ago?
Understood. I've been,
and that's again, that's one of the situations where like I've had female friends. There's, I would say, let's call it two. There's two females that are my friends that I met in like middle school, and we've always been friends. I'm like, I've been in relationships. They've been in relationships. One of them is married now. And it's never been an issue, but it also was never. Like if I was in a relationship, I never was hanging out with them alone. If they were in a relationship, they were never hanging out with me alone, because we understand how the world works. Like I don't get whatever. This kid's just a fucking moron.
With women, they've had a friend for a very long time.
That's my
but
conclusion.
I make it very clear to him, look, he clearly likes you. And if she's honest, she's like, yeah, I know, I keep my arm's length. And she's very honest and open with me about it. Oh, he just texted me trying to get me to go out. I'm not going to reply to him. And she'll distance herself on purpose, and she'll make it very, very clear that she's in love with me. And she'll keep him where he belongs, very, 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 very firmly in the friend zone with no hope.
And let's be clear, the one that's not married, of the two I just talked about, goddamn right I'd break that back out.
Because that's her job to do. I don't have to tell her to do that. Now, if I have to come along to a chick and say, you're giving this guy too much, stop texting him. If I had to do that, then she doesn't respect me, and I'm not going to be in that relationship. I'm not going to sit there and police her phone. She'll self-police out of respect for me. If she's not doing self-policing, then she doesn't respect me very much, and I need to understand the chessboard. I need to look at the board and say, okay, I'm not very well respected in this relationship. She thinks talking to these dudes is more important than keeping me happy. It's only a matter of time until we break up.
Okay. I agree with this. The problem is that you're lumping two things that are very, 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 very different. Okay, relationship needs and social needs. They're separate experiences. You saying,
if he starts talking about love languages, I'm turning this off.
And fearing the social overall aspect of your girlfriend, saying that she's mixing that with your personal relationship love, right, is a problem itself. That is a problem that you can't see. There's guys social needs. There's to talk to other beings, hear new ideas, have different intellectual conversations with other beings than you. Bro, you can't entertain all of our fucking intellectual, whatever the fuck. Bro,
projection.
Go out there and talk and have fun conversations that aren't having sex and having a lunch with somebody else. Like, what?
I'd appreciate if you stop using the word fear, because I'm not fearful. So you can stop using that word, firstly. Secondly.
Well, it's hard because when you don't want somebody to do something,
it's hard. It's hard.
It's out of fear. That's just how it is.
You think?
Yeah, by default it is, but you are fearful of something happening. Yes.
Again, by default. That's not what default means, my guy. If you're good, you have to earn this level of arrogance in a debate. And trust me, when you do, it is glorious. I've been there. I've been at the top of the mountain. This ain't it, homie. This ain't it.
It's not about being fearful. It's just about having my boundaries as an individual and having
boundaries of what? Boundaries that what will happen? Boundaries of what? What is the thing that you're shielding? You said boundary from what? Boundary and shield from what? From something. Bro, you don't wear
Are we all paying attention?
Fucking bulletproof vest, being scared of the fucking wind. You wear bulletproof vest against guns and bullets, bitch. Sorry. I take the bitch back. I cannot.
Would he ever have the balls to not even say the word bitch, but just talk to him like that in real life? Absolutely. I mean, the audacity to think that this is not only appropriate, but what you should be doing. Like he's streaming right now. He knows this is going out to whatever. Like #1 Twitch streamer. I'm about to fucking, like, really? I'll tear this dude apart tonight. On anything. Let him pick the topic and bring 5 of his friends. Shit.
I don't mind. That's fine. I'll answer your first original question about them being social. Women often, if they're with a man and they love that man, their social circle ends up involving or being built around that man. His friends become their friends. The girlfriends of the other guys that he's friends with becomes their friends. I'm not saying they're not going to have any friends and nobody outside of me. But anybody.
What he's saying, that's exactly what happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. When I didn't know how to maintain frame, I would just fall into her life. And we wonder why none of my relationships have worked out. And Friego says, God damn, the soy rage is real. This is the toxic masculinity that people want to talk about. This is not masculine in any way. But you know who is being masculine? Andrew Tate.
Who is completely and utterly unrelated to me is to a degree an enemy combatant. You need to understand.
I missed that. Let me back that up real quick.
Friend,
God
that
damn
life
it.
these friends with becomes their friends. I'm not saying they're not going to have about them being social. Women often, if they're with a man and they love that man, their social circle ends up involving or being built around that man. His friends become their friends. The girlfriends of the other guys that he's friends with becomes their friends. I'm not saying they're not going to have any friends and nobody outside of me. But anybody who is completely and utterly unrelated to me is to a degree an enemy combatant. You need to understand, my friend, that life as a man is ultra competitive and it is war. We are all competing with each other.
Everybody's at war.
Okay.
The whole thing is war. Girls at war. Guys, everybody is at fucking war.
Again, things that he says that shows me that he hasn't lived the life that he's trying to project. Oh, I get all these girls and I don't need, I'm number one. I'm number one. I don't care about number two because I'm number one. Yeah. On the Twitch ratings, but anything else?
Yes, life is a battlefield, and sometimes you gotta make choices and shit like that, and that's you climb, motherfucker. You have to take some down. It's what it is. It's a war, yeah.
All right, but I would argue that women, to a degree, call me misogynist, are a spoil of war. If you're a man and you've been through war and you've been through enough shit, you get women along with money, along with status, along with respect. Women are a spoil of war. They always have been. Look at the ancient times. They turn up, take the city, take the women. Women are a spoil of war. So all men are competing with each other for all the things men want. All of you Twitchers are competing with each other for views. I'm competing with people to make as much money as possible. If you're going to go try and get a chick, you're not the only person trying to get her. You are competing with people who are trying to get her too. And my point is this: if I win said war and a female becomes mine, I'm not going to let an enemy combatant put on a friend hat and use that as a shield and a bullshit excuse to sit there and attempt to silently chip away at my relationship. Every single time she's unhappy with me or we have an argument, he's in her fucking phone saying, well, you can do better than him. Anyone who thinks that makes you secure to allow your chick to just be poisoned.
Okay.
It's not about security. That's just your responsibility. She is yours. She loves you. She adores you. Her social circle should include you and revolve around you. Anyone who comes along and has nothing to do with me, but still wants something to do with my chick is unacceptable.
And as somebody who did not operate this way for so long, because I thought exactly as X and so many of the fucking soy boys think that this is toxic masculinity, I had this exact same rage. Because I was that, I mean, I didn't really, not from soy, but just from being a fucking loser. You want to stop being so mad? Be a better person. I was going to say it's not that hard. It is pretty hard, but do it. Do it.
Okay. I understand. So it's a spoil of war because you did something, right? Like, I want to fire back at you and say that where you're in a relationship, it has to be because you are something, not because you did something and you got me, because you are something. That's how you reach fulfillment in a relationship. You're with somebody who's with you because of you, and you're then because of they are them. What happens when since you're using the battle war thing, right? You're Achilles, the great fighter with a sword, right? And you.
Oh, honey, sweetie baby. Again, do people who understand women and have been in high status relationships like that talk like this, think like this? I haven't even been in high status relationships like that, and I can still see the giant gaping hole in his logic. It's just that's a fantasy world. That's not how the world really works. That's not how women really work, bro.
Smoke this big ass giant, and you get the spoil. You get in your words, you get the bitch. Now she comes to your tent, and she gets a.
Did anybody remember him using the word bitch? Pretty sure that was X projecting once again and using the opportunity to call women bitches because that's probably how he feels. But he knows the parameters of the Matrix won't let him.
Bite on the fucking stick. Yeah. The spoils of war, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Right. And then you build this relationship on the fact that you're such a successful fighter. The next day, something comes along, you go in the stairs and you fucking break your leg. Then it's all over, right? It's all over. Bro. You go back to your tent, it's crickets. She's fucking gone because you can't fucking jump and sword that guy anymore. You can't do the leap that Achilles did
What the fuck are you talking about?
because you can't fight anymore. Therefore, it's gone, right?
Yes. Yes. A woman's love is conditional. A woman's love is conditional. At least to a point. At least for a while. Over time, you build up some wiggle room. But especially in the beginning, a woman's love is conditional. If she likes you for X, Y, Z, and you lose X and Z, you losing her too. Put money on that.
So what's the point?
So you're saying that's how it works. Because she's not with you for you. She's with you because of some achievement, some tangible event that you did, some hype that you got. And
come on, guys, 2 more likes to 15. I need to feed my ego. Please, please.
You shouldn't be worthy or you should be fulfilled of anything else but that one event.
Well, I have 2 answers to that. Firstly, you said she shouldn't be with you for something. She should be with you because you are something. Well, how do you become something? You become something.
That's what you
become something by doing things. So you're trying to separate the two as if they're separate. They're not
separate. You is a lot of things. You're achieving.
Said by somebody who has never done anything.
Is a small thing. Being successful isn't.
Not in the realm of a man. In the realm of a man, your achievements are 85% of all of who you are. As a man, you are judged solely on your status. You don't even have to be good looking. You need to be important, and you're only going to be important by achieving important things. As a man, you're only judged on your importance and your status. And also another point I want to make: you made it sound like if I lose that next battle, she's going to run away. Well, no, not completely. But I'll counter that by saying
completely.
No, but I will answer.
Now she's attacks you because you're a failure. She needs to tax you on whatever you do because now you're not as good as you were before. She's losing that part of success you had.
See, he's smart enough that if he would just sit back and listen, he would be able to come up with smarter retorts. But he doesn't listen to the point, so he goes off on a tangent about a straw man and then looks like a fucking moron.
So now she should tax you. Yeah, she should say, Andrew, give me $10 a day, bro. So you have to go like a wagey to the market and sell peaches, right? Because you don't fulfill her now anymore. She lost something, bro. Get taxed, pussy.
Do you think that women don't?
There he goes again. Get taxed, pussy.
Don't leave their man?
Okay.
Or initiate divorce when that man loses his job or can no longer financially provide? You think arguments don't happen?
Bitch-ass, unstable ones do from people who can't select their women properly.
When she does not respect you, she will leave you. And respect is a multifaceted, it's a large and complex issue. But if you cannot provide as a man, if you are not competent, she will lose respect for you and eventually she will leave. For you to say that you can lose endless battles and your girl will stay with you anyway is dream world fallacy.
Give me a new topic. As a warrior, I go through the downs and the ups. And I would assume the person that is with me knows I can lose 1,000 battles. At the end, I will win the war some fucking how.
Again. Does that sound like somebody who's ever been in a relationship with women or a woman who has legitimate options? That is not how you talk if you've been in that position.
I know that because I built character and I built who I am as a person. And that person who's with me knows this and doesn't need some event or some win at least 1 battle out of 10 so for me to stay secure. They don't need that. Because they know
I'm number 1.
Who I am. They don't need little battles.
I don't know who you are.
They know the war's won because she's with the fucking winner.
Okay.
So your analogy is that you can lose every battle of the war, but you're going to win the war because you are who you are. That's logical. That's not being obtuse. That's completely engaging with the conversation. Come on, guy.
That's how it works.
All right. Well, if she's going to see you as a winner, even though you've lost a battle, which is fantastic, and that's how a woman should view her man, then she's only going to see you as a winner because she's seen you win a bunch of battles before. Any woman who's only ever seen you lose is not going to stand there and say he's a winner, is she?
Duh. Fucking duh. And look at his face. I don't know if that makes sense. Where's this thing?
Yeah, that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Yeah.
No, my point is this: as a man, you are judged by females and by society at large on your competence, and your competence, by extension, means your ability to win in all scenarios. The more competent you are as a man, the higher status you are as a man. We don't just have to talk about money, right? My woman can come to me and say, "There's a man outside with a knife." and I will go and deal with said situation. She can come to me and say, I need $1 million. I can deal with said situation. She can come to me and say, I don't know the answer to this. I can deal with it. She can come to me and say, I need a second passport. I have to disappear. I need a second name. I can deal with it. I am competent in all realms. The more competent I am, the more she respects me. By extension, the more responsibility and authority I have over her, and the less likely she is wanted to go to a club and shake her ass around. If I can't fix all of her problems, I have less authority. That's normal. I don't think, if I was a beautiful woman, I wouldn't be with a man who's not top fucking level. Why would I be? Because I have innate value. So to sit here and say that women don't give a fuck if you win or lose, and that all.
How misogynistic. Women have innate value? What that's the by definition, by default, that's misogyny, right?
All of that is not true because it's too competitive. It's too competitive. There are too many men out here who want the hot chicks. A hot woman can have anyone she wants. She ain't going to choose the dude who fucking is.
With this definition, then you are admitting that any girl that dates you, right? Any girl that dates you is only with you until she sees some guy who's more successful and has won more battles than you. Therefore, you shouldn't be with anybody, right? Because of who you are, right?
No.
Every girl is always looking up at something better. The grass always greener. You're just some pond then, right? Because as soon as you go to the yacht and some guy pulls up randomly that looks as like he has more money or has more followers or more money, she's gone. Because that guy has more battles. Yes, that's what you said. I was your argument. The guy's won more battles and is more stable. Why should she go to that guy?
I'm saying that she's going to have an emotional attachment to you because you're going to have an established relationship.
Hold on, Jack. Hold on, Jack.
You're scared she's going to leave then.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything.
You are. Yeah, that is what. That's something you don't. I believe that nobody else has it. Nobody. Not even you, him, the president, I'm myself. That's all I fucking need.
Cool. Well, then I put it this way. I would expect any man listening to this stream to see me as a threat, because if you don't see me as a threat, then you are literally stupid. If you see your girl talking to me, I expect you to be like, fuck, he ticks too many boxes, he's too competent, and he's too good at certain things. I don't need him near my woman. Now, she ain't gonna run away straight away, no. But if I keep talking to her and you and her have a little bit of an argument, she's gonna end up doing something that she might even regret it. She's gonna end up doing it. That is the nature of humanity. Now, to sit here and say that because I'm me, I'm so secure, I'm not threatened by nobody, that's not true. That's not an intelligent way to approach things. I'm a world champion fighter, right? If I see a man in my garden late at night, he may not be able to fight like me. I still don't want him near my house. Who the fuck are you, right? That's still a threat. It's still somebody who wants what I have.
Yep.
So it's not even as black and white as you're trying to make it. Another point you're trying to make, I think you're trying.
But he's not even competing. You already won. It's not, there's no competition. You won yourself. You've shown that. So why do they need anything else?
The competition. Go on.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it's not competition. I mean, why would you? There's no competition. You have what nobody else has. How is anybody competing with that?
Well, we're all different, right? I have things that nobody else has in some realms, but you guys have things I don't have, right? If there's a chick who's in love with Twitch, you're all more important than me. That's fine. But it's not about that. It's not even about that. The point I'm trying to make is, I think you were trying to say earlier that a girl's only with me because I have certain things, because I have X, Y, Z, etc.
That's not her fault. It's your fault. That's how you set it up to be.
I agree.
You're creating your own demons by that division.
It's not a demon. I agree that women are only with me. Shallow females are only with me because I'm big, tall, strong, rich, interesting, compendious, because I have charisma, because I can fix their problems, because I have a well-connected network, because I'm important and respected and high status. I agree women are only with me for all those things. That does not mean that their love is not true. You think that a woman who's only with a guy because
my bad,
he's big, tall, strong, handsome, and rich doesn't love that man? You're only with her for her titties and you love her? So what the fuck are you talking about? You're trying to pretend they're separate. They're the same fucking thing.
bro, listen, you're talking to the big titty guy. I fucking love titties, okay? There's nothing, I don't give a fuck if people have a chop with that. I fucking love titties, and I don't even agree with that, okay? I love titties more than anybody else, and just titties, it's just...
More than anybody else. What point are you trying to make?
It's not good enough. It's just not.
I was making a point humorously, so I'll make the point now professionally. If you're only with a woman because she is loyal, kind, soft, adoring, and beautiful, and she makes you feel happy, are you shallow?
I said it again. That was a lot.
She's loyal, she's adoring, she's funny, she's gorgeous, she makes you feel happy, your friends love her, she lives in your house, she cooks, she cleans, you feel good when you're around her. Are you shallow to be with that woman?
What do we think? Is that shallow? Put a 1 if you think it's shallow. Put a 1 if you think it's shallow.
No, why would it be shallow?
So if a woman's only with you, or me, or anyone else, because she looks up to you and sees you as strong, rich, competent, interesting, you can protect her, she likes to be guided by you, she likes talking to you, is she shallow to be with you because you're purely high status?
No. So the point I'm making is that, okay, I agree with you.
No, that's just one of the reasons she loves me.
Okay. It's all about proportions, okay? Think about, like I said earlier, the motherfucking polygon, okay?
Yeah.
Is it a polygon?
No, nobody as much as XQC, according to him. Using his own precedents. Fucking moron.
It feels on certain sides because certain strengths. Okay, what I'm saying is that you can have a little bit of everything in, right? A little bit of everything in. But the reason why she's there is mostly the things that are fucking tangible, right? Like money or whatever. If most of it is that it's the money and status or whatever, that's a fucking problem.
Sure,
you want to be a nice balance.
I'm zoning out.
Somewhat of everything. So it feels fulfilling in all ways and good and feels good. It's a good thing. All of it. So if it goes with you, because of 3%, whatever, 3% into like 5%, whatever, and then 40% money and 30% looks. What happens if your investment all fall flat and you get older? And then that woman out the window. Because most of why she likes you, most of it is these tangible dog shit, and then boom, it's gone.
Just heads up, we're in the last less than 15 minutes.
Agreed.
And then what?
Of video that we're watching.
And then what? What are you doing?
Then you're gonna find another bitch. I never said that wasn't the case. What do you want me to say? I never said that wasn't the case at all. I'm saying that women are attracted to tangible things. It's a tangible world. I said this earlier. Now, I've never been with a woman who only loves me for money. I'm not a sugar daddy. I'm not like that as a person. I have a lot of money, but my women who are with me, they don't get like presents and cars, none of that shit. Like they can live in the house and I'll take them out for dinner, but they could get with a man with less money than me and get a lot more money out of said man. So I understand the point you're making. Yeah, if a hooker's with a dude purely for money and he runs out of money, it's cool.
And how do you know that?
I know that because of how my relationship set up. Because they're with me for money, they choose someone else because they don't get anyone.
Well, I mean, they don't have to work, they don't have to do shit. They live for free. So how do you know they're not with you only because they can live for free and a good life and a good fancy life? How do you know
Didn't we just go over this?
How do you build that framework, right? Where they
Maybe because there's a million other fucking dudes that have money. If she's hot, she's got options. No?
They display they're with you for all these other intangible things from you that isn't only life stability and status.
Good question. Good question. So what we need to do is we need to get this Twitch stream. We need to get every single stay-at-home mother, every single stay-at-home wife in the entire country, and we need to ask them how we know they really love their husband. They're not just with them so they don't need to have a job. Let's do that, shall we? That doesn't even make sense.
I didn't ask these fucking degenerates or me. I asked you. Also, is that lady billing you a new fucking back and rearrange your fucking bones? Why is he massaging for a full hour straight, bro? What is she doing out there, man? Bro, what the fuck? Is getting some sort of fucking osteopathic replacement or some shit?
I have a lot of muscle.
That's pathetic. That's pathetic. He had nothing else to say, and he just had to yell. Like, 90-minute massages are a thing. Like, normal people go for 90-minute massages. Like, not in their house at 5 a.m., but still.
Painful to carry around. It's a 2-hour massage.
Could she get like a little break or like some water?
Of course she gets water. She works hard. She's here every day. She loves me. She's fine. She's my best friend.
Okay,
she's well looked at.
What's her name?
Watch out. Hey, sorry, lady. You better watch this guy's girlfriend's about to get jealous because he has a best friend that isn't her. Holy shit. Watch the fuck out. Hey, somebody tell her.
I want to say one more thing that will really trigger you, but this is true. All the rules I've been saying, all the things I've saying that apply to women don't apply to me. I can go to the club when I want. I can have as many female friends, so I can do whatever I want. So let's just do it. Okay. I can do as much as I want. I'm the boss.
You're the boss.
So I can do what I want.
Top G.
Right? So, yeah, top G. My chick can't come to me and say, who's this chick? Some bitch. Why are you talking to her? Because I fucking want to. I'm allowed to.
I mean, in a way, when you have these two things, right? These in that polygon, when you have a crazy,
I might take eating chat, I might take sucking.
I mean, you can do whatever the fuck. You can do crazy, outlandish shit, and still have security.
It's true, but I don't like people thinking that women are only with me for money because it's actually the absolute opposite. I only first ever made serious money because I had so many women when I was broke. So let's keep that in mind. Firstly, so I had women when I had no money. So
and why? Because you were good looking, or other things? What was it?
I was a
because you had good hair. What happened when you went bald? You think women was only because of your hair, but now you're bald. What happened then?
I'm not bald. I shaved my head. I could grow all my hair back if I decided.
Bro, you can see the hairline. It's like a whole McDonald's symbol.
It's here, but it's because I was a world champion fighter, I'd assume, and because I'm interesting and smart, I guess.
That was funny.
I'm big. I had lots of reasons. I had lots of things about me that women like, clearly, because they listen to me and they help me make millions and millions of dollars. So it's not just about.
Yo,
how are you hiding Los Pollos' video? Like how do you do that?
You right click. He fell asleep.
What do you click?
He fell asleep. So
but what do you click?
You right click. You just show my camera or disable video.
Really? Good shit. Thank you, brother. I never knew that. Continue, guys.
So yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. I would like to, if I had the time, which I know, we could do a really interesting study. You get a new girlfriend, I get a new girlfriend. I give mine my set rules, and you get your set rules, and we see who lasts longer.
Who lasts longer? Bro, life doesn't work like that. We can't just fucking full reset and get like brainwashed, like clean sleep. You can't. This is the problem with life. How do you? Okay, this is one of my problems with life. How do you know the tools and you have what it takes to make it if you can't full reset?
Again, these are the words of somebody who is not who they are presenting themselves to be. You know that that's not a real thing that's going to happen. What do you have to lose by just agreeing? The fact that you can't even like, this guy is something else. And this is the fact that when I first watched this, I thought he was just some guy. And I was so curious why Andrew Tate would be here, especially the way that X is acting. Knowing he's he definitely is only the #1 Twitch streamer because Destiny got banned, right? I mean, how is Kassan or Vosh not bigger than this guy? At least Vosh is willing to go on Timcast.
Oh shit, I wasn't music.
It's hard. It's hard. You
This shit is
don't
hilarious.
ever know for sure, right?
I wish. Can we do a poll in the chat? Is it possible to do a poll?
Yeah, you can do a poll, yeah.
Okay, just ask to say if your girl goes to the club with men I said that wrong.
Poll, do it again. You have to give me the specifics.
Yo, mods, any mods up?
If your girl can
Go
go to the
poll.
club whenever she likes with her girls, is she more likely, or are you more likely to break up than if she doesn't go club? That's the question.
So what do you guys think?
So
Just
just
see
put,
what people think.
just put break
Maybe I'm
up.
wrong.
Just put
It's fine.
Put
I
break
have
up
no
or
problem
not break
being
up.
wrong. Like I don't give a
Your
fuck.
girl goes clubbing.
Without
Your girl.
you very often, are you more likely to break up?
Just put yes or no, even actually. Hold up,
Yeah,
Andrew,
why
you're looking
do
at
you
my
fucking
shit, so
poll?
I got you.
Just yes
So
or
wait,
no.
you want me to put yes or no, or break up or not break up?
Yes or no is fine.
I just did break up, not break up, and it's so.
1 minute poll in the chat.
Let's do it.
I hate when people do that. Why ask if you already did it or if you already decided what you were going to do? Do you want break up or yes or no? Just do yes or no. Oh, I did break up.
X, mine's 95% breakup. Mine's then.
Yeah, but
What's the question? What's the
you
question?
streamed to a bunch of fucking preteen fucking Coomerandys up in his bitch. Just like that.
Who recognizes that logical fallacy?
To a bunch of skateboarding fucking. Oh,
What's
I
the
can't.
question?
Exactly.
What's the
I am
question?
as biased as you.
It's
We are not
What is the
rooted.
question?
We are not rooted in
What
rationality.
is
These
the
guys spam
question?
W when this guy shows up on screen. because
Holy shit! What is
What's
the
that
question? What is the
It's-
if
question?
your girl goes out clubbing with her girls without you, are you more likely to break up with her than not? My personal answer is no, 100% no. Okay, because if she goes to the club, it has nothing to do with my relationship stability, and isn't getting something isn't getting from me by going out there, right? And she's fulfilling other needs socially that she enjoys. That makes it even less likely.
Yo, look at this
you are more
poll.
likely to be broken up with her, right?
Yo.
If you allow her to do less things that she enjoys doing.
This is like 50.
And a story. Oh, my girl feel pretty, and if she's
Mine's
bald
like
and hot
80.
and fucking sexy, I want her to be able to feel that.
So what did he just say? I want my girl to feel pretty and da-da-da-da. If you're, again, a high-value male, which I'm not claiming to be, if you're a high-value male and you are like, wow, you look hot, guess how your girl's going to feel?
I want to be able to do that. What the fuck she wants? She's not gonna fucking stay at home in her pajamas.
Oh, fuck.
She just like you like to have your fucking top off so we can see your titties and your traps.
Freak, I'm gonna add you after.
She likes sometimes looking nice and having some cleavage. She feels sexy when she looks at her in the mirror. It has nothing to do with what she's getting out of others. It's how she sees herself. Oh, I'm sexy. I want her.
This is what you call plugged in. He's giving the feminist line that women need to do this and that, and it's like, no, not really. I mean, women survive perfectly fine without doing all that, and then they started doing that, and now scientifically they report lower levels of happiness. So, I mean, sorry, Tate, it's not that untested. It's been tested and not working out for him.
50 gift.
I wanted
Thank
to say,
you.
hold on, I'm so fucking sexy. I think it's hot
brother.
shit.
Yeah, I love it when your girl comes to the club with her tits out. I love it.
Oh, yeah, because you can look like a fucking window shopper, like when you're broke, right?
Right.
And then she comes back home and sucks my balls and not yours, and nobody else is in the world.
It's right.
That's security.
Thank you. That's right. You're right.
Security.
No, you're totally right, man. Everyone's window shopping. No one's touching her dishes.
They are window shopping. They absolutely are. Yeah. So, like I said, you are scared. People.
And again, it's like, have you ever been to a club? You don't really sound like you know what goes on there. If you do, and you still say what you're saying, that's one thing. But you don't really seem to know.
I'm not window shopping when your girl goes out.
Yeah, so you're right. All my girls are ugly, clearly, and I'm very fearful.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say ugly or looks. I said what I said is what it is.
And so when you get to this point, when the person who's obviously winning starts to just be like, yep, you're right. then you know that it's over, because that's a signal to say, okay, I'm not taking you seriously anymore. Let's see how long it takes for what's his face to get it. There's 10 minutes left in the video, and we're not going to make it to the end of the video because I don't care about every single word they say. We've gotten the meat of it, but I just want to see how long it takes for him to realize that Tate's no longer truly engaged.
What you're saying is that you and Dan, if you were going out, people would not be window shopping. They wouldn't be touching. They would not know.
Look, I hang around with many beautiful women. They get a lot of attention, and we go out with me, and they get shitloads of attention. Of course, it's normal. But
that's good. That's good. That's a good thing.
I'm getting tired.
That doesn't mean they're touching though.
But they're with me. I wouldn't send them to the club by themselves. And you know what's actually, I know this is very unusual to like.
So you have to be close when something that you don't like happens.
I know this is maybe unusual for an American audience, right? But I live in Romania. So in Romania, if you go to a club and she's not with a man, she's single. The idea that a woman has a boyfriend and goes to the club without her boyfriend is literally, it doesn't exist. So you see women with their men, and you see women standing on their own, and everyone knows they're the single ones. It's impossible for a girl to have a boyfriend and still go out. That's just the societal norm. Same in Russia, same in most of Eastern Europe, same in all of Asia, same in the Middle East, same in Africa, same in most of the...
That's cultural shit. You know, comparing the East, the West, Middle Eastern.
Cultures. We're comparing cultures now. We're comparing the culture of the Western United States to other countries. The Western United States is a country with the highest divorce rate, the most suicidal males, girls sleeping with the most men, the most porn stars, the most fucking OF and cam and all this other trash. You're going to try and defend the society which is the most degenerate on the fucking planet? There's nothing fucking respectable about...
Well, I live in here. I don't have any other choice. I like living here. I live here. That's about it. End of story. I'm not fucking...
My ideas are not unusual most places on the planet. They may be unusual to an American audience in a degrading society full of...
Dropping the link! Come on up!
Disgusting...
Okay. With this mindset, the girl of your dreams is actually not even alive right now. She's probably stuck in the fucking cave ages with the fucking with the mindset that they had back then of the animals fighting. So by definition, your soulmate or best fit is in the fucking -2 million or some shit.
There's no such thing as a soulmate, because as a man, you mold your woman. I take any woman and she becomes my soulmate by obeying my rules. And if she doesn't obey, we break up. So the women are malleable. My point is, I could take an American woman and she would abide by my rules, because that's who I am. It's not.
Even if you are one of these, feminist men type dudes, how do you not see that it's fucking awesome to be able to speak about yourself in this way? Even if it's uncouth to some, that's a privilege that so few men actually have.
About that, my point is, you're defending.
The link is dropped. Anybody who wants to come up, please hit the link. Come on up.
Have to obey. And that, dude, I feel like the way you're saying it, obey. Then in that sense, the way we use the word obey, you can make her do any tricks whatsoever. You can make her do anything. She has to obey. What is that, man?
It's comply. Like, if they don't want to comply with my rules and my views on how a relationship should run, then they should leave. That's normal, right? The woman gets with me. I think it wants to be this way. She doesn't want it to be that way. Then we break up. What's the problem? But if she stays,
that was both ways though, with women and men, right?
Correct. A woman can come to me and say, I expect you to do X, Y, Z, Andrew. And if I do those things, we stay together. And if we don't, we break up completely. But my point is that my rules are that I can do whatever I want in certain regards, and she can't. Those are my rules because I have responsibility.
Okay, it makes sense. So you are inherently superior, right? Therefore, you command the boat. As an analogy, I just always felt like relationship is more like a plane. You have a co-pilot, right? You have a co-pilot. You think it's opposite. You have a ship, and you're the fucking captain, and they're the whatever motherfucker down on the board, and you do this and you do that, and you obey the captain. I'm the captain motherfucker, right? And you, as Andrew, no girl is above you. Not a single breathing woman on earth is above you and commands you or could command you. Could you above somehow?
I could argue, but just for the sake of keeping things simple, that's 85% correct. Yeah, correct.
85% how?
Because you're saying like no woman's above you, that you're trying to use it as a misogynistic term, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that in a relationship, someone has to be in charge. And I think the most healthy relationships are relationships with the man in charge. And there are certain domains in which I'm always going to excel.
Jesus.
And because of that, let me give you another example. And then we're going to change subject, hopefully. Last example.
Yes,
sure.
please.
You're walking down the street with your chick. I come up to you, or forget me, 10 UFC guys come up to you. Your chance of winning is 0%.
Zero.
But they want to physically harm your female. It is your masculine duty and your imperative to at least attempt. Do you agree?
What? Bro, this isn't World of Warcraft. You don't AoE the mobs down, bro. Like, this isn't some fucking primitive, you're against a lion type shit, bro. It's an unwinnable fight. Nobody would take that fight. By the likeness, I would hope my girl knows. We cannot win this fight. We must both run. And we both run.
No, okay, yeah. But let's say they're about to drag a woman into a bush and have their way with her, unless you attempt to protect her. Do you feel like you have a masculine duty, even in the face of unwinnable odds, to at least attempt to protect her? Yes or no?
Bro. You made fun of me for my scenarios. What is this scenario of some obscure fucking like hentai shit, man? What the fuck am I? What are we talking about here, man?
All right, I'll change it then. If you want to pretend that that's not a very reasonable question, even though it is.
10 dudes are dragging the woman and the man in a bush, and you have to fight 1v9. Bro, you wouldn't even win that if you were fucking Naruto, man. Like,
do we all notice that even though he purposely made an unwinnable situation because it's about the honor of defending your woman, and again, just right over his head. Right over his head. So let's finish these last few minutes, and then we'll introduce my esteemed guests and get into the panel.
I'm not talking about winning. I'm talking about your imperative. I'm not talking about winning. I'm talking about, do you have a duty? Do you have a masculine duty to at least?
Where does that duty come from? That
Okay.
both partners have to help each other.
Both partners. Okay, so you need your chick to fight for you. I get it. Next question. Let's say you're alone in your house. You and your chick.
Wait, hold on. Hey, let's roll back a little bit. So you say that the girl can't fight for you, right? Because it's not her role. Whenever she made her character, she didn't choose fucking defender or melee. She chose fucking female. So you can't fucking fight. What is that? So whatever, if you get jumped by 3 dudes, right, and you're getting absolutely boned, okay, and she has a gun, right? She cannot shoot because the woman do not fight. The woman cannot fight. She can't fight for you, right? But because you're such a lion, bro, right?
No.
Bro, come on, you can only 3 of them, right?
That's not the point. If my female had a gun, I'd tell them to shoot every fucker. That's not what I'm saying. So
But now she fought for you. That's not male, bro. That's not fucking warrior mode. You let the fucking female fight for you? Come on, Andrew, you better than that.
Change the question because you want to pretend my question is not very reasonable, even though it is. Because we're talking about masculine duty and authority and responsibilities. It's a hypothetical, so we change it. You and your woman are asleep in bed upstairs. You hear someone break into the house downstairs. Who goes downstairs?
Nobody.
Tripping. X2, you tripping. Hold on. X2, so you're not going down there?
Nobody's going down there.
So what if they come upstairs?
Bro, you gotta protect.
Bro, I'll keep it $1.50 real quick. I'll keep it $1.50.
No. My job is to survive, not protect. My job is to survive. And so that means the guy that gets a gun. It doesn't matter.
That's
what
not
the fuck I
very
do.
courageous of you, bro.
We are both going down by doing the smart thing, the analytical, the strategic thing. We can both survive. If I go down, not only am I jeopardizing myself, I am jeopardizing both of us by not being smart and a leader in that regard. We are even more in danger if I go down than if I not.
He said we're both going down.
Oh, yeah,
What
he
is
tripping.
good, gentlemen? We have
What's
got
up?
our friend Sanzik and Darshawn McAway. Sanzik, what's going on? How you been, brother?
Good. I did not realize he was that much of an idiot.
Yeah. Darshawn, how you been, brother?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. You seem to be enjoying the show.
Man, I'm loving it, man. I was sitting back. I said, I'm gonna stick around for this one, man.
So what do you think? Is this the because I found this from that last clip of him talking about like not going downstairs, and that's why this blew up. I mean, is there any excuse for that? Is there any? I mean, am I being obtuse?
No.
His excuse is that he has no self-defense.
That I would say he has no self-defense and he's a little scared. He copped out. Listen, I stay upstairs. You know, we got a 2-story place, and we heard a bump. I heard a bump in the night. You know, my family, they was asleep. First thing I did, I get up, I grab my homeboy. You know, I grab my homeboy and I take my little steps down. You know, I'm looking around, and I found out there was a raccoon messing with the garbage can. You know, so I went down. I went down without no problem. I wasn't thinking about, if I'm not keeping my family safe if I go down first. If anything, I was thinking like, I'm gonna go down and handle my business. I'm gonna do some LL Cool J on him. I'm gonna beat the guy up in the kitchen, you know.
Exactly. And you're a very physically capable man, but even somebody like myself, I'm 5'4", I weigh $120 on a good day. We'll leave that there. $120 on a good day, and and the other thing is that I've been physically smaller than women that I've been with. And it still would never occur to me to be like, all right, let's strategize and see what the best thing to see what we don't know what's going on downstairs so that we both make it out. I'm like, what, bro?
No.
Again, just people talking out of their ass. It's clear this man has never been in that position.
Yeah.
I don't think he was thinking when he was talking at all. I think he was just saying something that vaguely sounded reasonable.
Yeah.
Is that typically how he behaves on live stream?
Yes, he's even worse on live streams because he is not he's not at all humble. Like, it's his chat, so anything he says goes. That's how most Twitch streamers operate.
Okay. And so he's popular for being animated then. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
He's popular for rage.
Okay.
So I was asking earlier, I forget exactly what the situation was, but I think it might have been the car thing. I don't remember what it was, but I was saying, is he this dumb or is he playing the character? And is it so it's not out of question to think that he would be saying shit just for, how it looks.
I mean, the character is him, though. Like, that's just who he is now.
That's what
his
he
brand.
wants you to think.
No, but that's his brand. That's all he shows to the public.
And that's my point. That's what he wants you to think. I mean, again, he was accusing Tate of grifting and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, you've projected a lot of things here. So it makes sense to me that you're probably projecting about this too. And that you're the grifter. And that you are not, you're just saying what you think your audience wants to hear.
Yeah. So what's the hate and the disdain for is it Andrew Tate? Why does everybody give him such a hard time?
The same reason, they give Kevin Samuels and lead attorney and anybody in the manosphere. It's because he goes against the gynocentric narrative, the idea that women should be free and in charge and in this and in that. It is I want to be as quote unquote progressive as I genuinely feel I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't want to like say oh, women don't, because that gives credence to, some of my other thoughts. But from what I understand, he is very hardline, or he is seen as very hardline. But based on this conversation, I only have to assume that he's gotten the same exact treatment as Kevin Samuels did.
Yeah.
That he's out here helping people, and people don't like the way that he's doing it. That's good enough to call him misogynist and all that.
Well, I've seen Andrew Tate on a few Fresh and Fit podcasts, and I think I've seen his own stuff, and I understand where he's coming from. I can tell when he's being entertaining, but while he's being entertaining, he's also dropping some gems. And I also found out there was like a short clip where he was talking about do he really feel like women are slaves? And he explained, he was like, no, I don't feel that way. And he's like, I don't even know where people kind of got that from about me. I feel like women, if you're going to be with this man, you're going to honor that man and do like this. And a woman wouldn't want to be with multiple men because she'll be seen a certain type of way. And it was something along the lines like he understands hot girl summer, but when a woman's traditionally trying to like bear down with the man and have children, she's not going to want to have sex with a whole bunch of men at the same time, And I was like, okay, I see who he is now.
Yeah, that's just standard. And as they were, even X was saying, some of his more inspirational takes as opposed to dating takes about, being a man and find your purpose and that kind of stuff. He X didn't necessarily disagree with him. And so it's just, and then we see Tate specifically gives the disclaimer. Okay, I'm going to give you an analogy. It's an analogy. Don't get caught up in the fact that I'm comparing women to cars because it's just an analogy. And then he's like, oh yeah, you're right, because you just, that's how you date Lambos on the freeze on the curb. Like, bro. So, I mean, I'm really curious if you guys think I'm on point. And Darshan, I know you definitely have a better radar for this kind of shit than I would.
Go ahead.
Do you think I'm right that he's never been in a relationship with somebody of status, in the sense that he would need to feel that they would gravitate towards another guy in the right circumstances? Does my question make sense?
No, it makes sense. I think I know where you're going. So he's been in a relationship with a certain type of woman, but he comes up as the type of guy who's been in a relationship with a woman who went for a guy like Andrew Tate, which is why there's a little tension between the two.
Ah, I see what you mean. Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? Because this is just my personal opinion about what I'm seeing. If he's a gamer and he's top and he's always on the internet, when you step out into the real world, let's say you run into a guy like me, right? And your girl is watching me, but she's been with you for a while, but she's watching me. And I just look at her and I go, what's up? Right there in that instant, okay, you're going to feel that jealousy as a gamer, but you don't understand she likes what she sees. She wants to get with me. Unfortunately, I'm married, but I understand it, you know. So that's what young Twitch dude is that's what he's going through, because you know he started getting real tough, you know, during the stream, calling them all kind of bees and everything. I said, okay, I see what's going on, you know. So he's been in a relationship. I'm pretty sure he's had intercourse, but he hasn't dealt with a certain type of woman on a certain type of caliber. So Absolutely. He's been with certain girls, but there are certain women, man, that will, you know, do a few things to you that kind of change your perspective on the notion of being alpha and beta. You know what I mean? Like they'll test you. He probably hasn't been tested. He's probably been more so walked away from and left behind more than anything.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
I would add to that and say that most women who he would go after probably know of him, at least vaguely now, considering his online popularity, and they can see everything that he is online already. There's no mystery. There's no intrigue. He's just there.
Yeah, if he didn't, I mean, that makes perfect sense. If he didn't have the clout, what does he have? I mean, I don't see anything there.
Well, that's on camera. That's on camera. In real life, when people go out, things are different.
But he's on camera for over half the day.
That's a good point too. That's a good point too. But no. I understand what you're saying, Rashawn, and I was just saying from this conversation. Obviously, I'm not making a judgment on. I don't know the dude. I never heard of him before this, but
no,
I mean,
I don't know his name, but I've seen him before. But I'm sure he gets some attention. And do you know how old he is?
He said he was 26.
Okay, so I would guess that. Yeah, so he definitely got some attention. I'm not going to say he's like a total square. I just think the conversation that he was having with Andrew Tate was a little bit, you know, what you guys would consider beta and simpish, you know. Sometimes, sometimes you just gotta let people voice their own thoughts just to hear where they're coming from and stop judging them so much and just see the underlying issue of where they're coming from. But young Twitch fella, you know, he's gonna grow up, man. He'll get into it. He's gonna fall into something wet sooner or later, and he's gonna change his mind. You know, he'll change his mind one of these days.
So I wanted to before I let you guys go, I wanted to get your opinion on this comment from the Free Ego. Young dude, young buck. He's you know, he's doing his thing. Just got to get myself a foreign girlfriend because I sure as shit don't know any women around my age with traditional values. So I think he's like 18 to 20, right around that age. What have you got to say as the elder here, Darshan?
Yeah, so well, the traditional values, I'm gonna call BS on that. Even if he's 18, because if you went to high school, most of those kids, depending on where this person lives, if you had parents, they had traditional values. It's just that those girls probably wanted to abandon those traditional values. Now, I would tell that young man, what is he, 18, he said, right?
Yeah, like 18, 19, maybe
20. Yeah. So for right now, at that age, you should be, you know, working, having some fun. And if you run into some young women, you know, hang out with them and do your thing. But you shouldn't be thinking about anybody having any traditional values so early. You know, get your grades up, get your body up, go work, go have fun, learn how to talk to people. Actually, what you should do as a young man, go hang around as many women as possible at that age, 18, 19, you know, stretch your stuff, go ahead and peacock like I used to do, and find out, hey, you know, here's one thing. I used to do this, no joke. I was 19 years old. I say, hey, if I wanted to talk to you, what would be the first thing you wanted me to do to you? And that would open up the floodgates for the icebreaker. When women would say, young boy, how old are you? I go, I'm 19. You the same age as my son, but I ain't the son though. You know, so you got to do stuff like that, you know, to keep it going. But don't worry about no traditional women right now in your teens or early 20s. Kind of get to that, you know, in your 30s. But if you really want to fall in love and that's what you really want, talk to that person, get to know that person, but talk to multiple people. But going outside of the United States, you could do it if you want to, or find a foreigner if you want to, but what you're looking for is probably right under your nose.
And if I could piggyback on that, I would say that, you know, going outside the country isn't necessarily inherently a bad thing. Right. But if you don't know why it's not working here, then you're going to have the same issues overseas or wherever else. I mean, it might not be as contentious, but it's definitely, it's definitely something that is universal to some extent.
Right. Let me say this one thing. I used to sell candy in high school, Butterfingers and Reese's Cups.
Oh, you were one of those.
Yeah. And I used to make a lot of money, right? I used to make a lot of money. And the analogy I give to people is, if you can't sell something that's already been established, it's not the candy, it's you.
Dropping knowledge. Beautiful. I can't think of a better note to end on than that.
Well, hold on. One thing. Yeah. Backing up a little bit, I would say that it does matter a little bit if they have traditional values, because the people who are crazy already are getting crazier, and the people who are sane are getting saner.
Right, but if they already are on that track, then by the time you are ready to be picking from girls that that you want to be picking from, I don't know what a Free Ego's style is, but whatever he's looking for, the ones that are going down that road at 18, 19, 20, those aren't the girls that you're going to be looking at when you're 25, 30 years old.
Yeah.
So Darshan's whole point is those girls are going to do what those girls are going to do. You can't do a goddamn thing about it.
Yeah, but then those girls grow up to have kids with people who are probably the same way that they are, and then they spread that to their kids, and then their kids spread that to others.
She's never yours, brother. It's just your turn.
It's just your turn, baby.
So, I mean, yes, there's this Disney romantic idea of a sleeping beauty who's never been touched, and I was that guy that I was like, for a long time, and I did the worst thing you could do, and I went to a woman about this. I was like, am I being sexist because I have it just kind of rubs me the wrong way when I know that a girl has kind of, been with a lot of different dudes. And she was like, of course, he's got it. And just, but now I fucking realize, of course you're going to say that. You had fucking your numbers up in the triple digits. It's a biological thing to want women to be more chaste. But I mean, maybe you'll find one of them. And then again, maybe when you get to the point of and I'm talking to a Free Ego here, maybe when you get to the point of determining why, or how the traditional values that play out in America and the people around your geographical region. I don't know if you're from America, but I assume if you're saying foreign, then you're from America. But by the time those you're ready to deal with that in terms of having game, then you'll either be able to tell a good girl from a bad girl, or B, you'll come to accept that there really just is very, very, very few truly good girls like that, and they're few and far between. And unless you're super high value, then you're probably not likely to find them.
Yeah.
And Little Toe says plus AIDS and HIV. I think that's relevant too.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for coming up. I really appreciate it. Sanzik, the floor is going to you. Plug your social media and anything else that you might be doing, like editing videos or anything. Somebody could hit you up for stuff like that. The floor is yours.
My Twitter is @SanzikC, and I'm trying to get into basic editing, but not really like searching for people. So if you want to hit me up, just ask on my Twitter, just DM.
He does good work. He does good work. So if you're on a budget, I mean, it ain't great work, but hey, we all start somewhere, right? Definitely hit up Sanzik. And Darshawn McAway, D-Mac, give it to him.
Hey, my name is Darshawn McAway. Go check out DarshawnMcAway.com. Find out all the things that I'm doing. If you need some relationship advice, you can hit me up. I'll talk to you, male or female. We'll let you know what you're doing wrong and especially what you're doing right. Yo, the Indian Jesus, thank you for having me on your stream.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming. And as I always need to mention, before the Indian Jesus was born, remember this was the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast, and Darshawn has written a number of books. And there is 2 separate episodes of the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast with just me and Darshawn talking about nothing but his books and how he wrote them. And one of them is directly relevant to this topic. What is that book called again? And what is it about?
So we got 2 of them, Girlfriend versus Wife Duties, but Say Hello to Me, which is the men's self-improvement book. And it talks about this exact stream that you're reviewing. So check it out. Say Hello to Me by Darshawn McAway. It's a bestseller, by the way. It kept me retired for a long time.
Lucky you. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate it. I'm going to close this out and appreciate you guys hanging out.
Have a good
Take care. All right, so we went over a lot today. I mean, it kind of seemed jumbled, but at the end of the day, what we're really looking to do is look at what other people are doing and see how how they fare. This is obviously a very unique type of conversation where you have the #1 Twitch streamer and some viral red pill sensation. You're not likely to find yourself in that situation. I understand that. But you are likely to find yourself in a situation where you're talking to somebody who you don't agree with, and you don't necessarily know how capable linguistically they are. And especially if it's in person, then you better know how physically capable they are. But it's just a matter of understanding that you have to treat people like people, and you have to treat ideas like ideas. You have to treat people like people and ideas like ideas. Have at it with the ideas, but be nice to people. You can do that exact thing and not only win the debate, which seems to be the most important thing to everybody when it comes to debates, but actually help other people learn what it is that you think, why you think it, and how it helps the world. And I think I personally think that's important. Maybe you don't. Hey, you're free to think whatever you think. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I think this was a really cool stream. Don't forget the link to the Discord is in the description, along with my support links. If you liked what it was, follow Luke Hazley's. Jesus Christ, come on, really? Follow Luke Hazley's path. And I'll give you okay. So Steven Crowder I think Steven Crowder is a good source for people who already agree with him. What I mean by that is I think he is very much a lot like this XQC dude but kind of flipped. You could have seen this conversation that we watched going very differently and Tate getting all riled up, but he didn't. And so it was obvious that he was, the calm one and the mature one, and that X was the one with the soy boy rage. You can often see in Crowder's videos how he is purposely trying to dig at the opponents. And while I don't necessarily disagree with much of what he says, I do disagree with a way who I disagree with the way he goes about it if he was trying to accomplish the same thing that I'm trying to accomplish, which is clear that he's not. So thank you. I like the thank you. Yeah, good. Exactly. Difference is he doesn't insult people, and I don't know, not to their face. Like, definitely if you watch the like the Change My Mind segments, they're just conversations, and he might be a little bit arrogant and schmarmy, but like I said before with X over here, you got to earn that. You got to earn that arrogance, and you know what? Steven Crowder has earned that arrogance, and I completely understand why people don't like him. But I'm not one of those people. But yeah, I mean, I really, what I want from this channel, what I want more than you guys having fun, which is I want you guys to be entertained while you're here. Obviously, that's the whole point. You're here. If you weren't entertained, then you'd be on one of the other 7 billion videos. But I also want to teach you something. But I also want to learn from you guys. This isn't just, I'm not XQC. I'm not coming out here to tell you what's what. And if you disagree with me, then fuck you, because I'm this, that, that. Little Toast is out. Thank you for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it. And yeah, that's not what I want to do. I want to have a party. I want to have fun. I've had some of the most deep and intellectual conversations of my life at parties. Maybe you have partied with the wrong people, or maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you get people in a certain state, you get the time, the conversation, the mood is right, and it's just different. Somebody that you've known for 10, 15 years, you go to a party with them for the first time, you're going to see a different side of them. And that's, I mean, unless they're a shitty person, that's usually not a bad thing. And that is exactly what I want to do with this channel. So even if you can't follow Luke Hazley's lead and hit up the support links, she sent me a nice little Cash App, and I really, really, really appreciate it, because it is hard to do this shit. That's totally fine, because it's absolutely free to hit the like button, to subscribe, to ring the bell, to share with your friends, and to leave a comment after we're done. If you could do all that, that would be awesome. But even if you don't want to do any of that, you just want to sit at home and think about how awesome I am and how great this channel is, that'd be cool too. Until next time, I am the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm out.